We're back. We are back, guys. If you walk in, please make sure you hit that like button. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button. Please make sure you hit that notification bell on the right hand side. Remember, we do go live each and every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 o'clock Eastern time, like always. Thank you for tuning in to KI Culture Radio. Hakeem, Jordan, what's cracking lacking? What's cracking lacking? What's cracking lacking?
Living the dream.
Hey, feeling good for the gray on this wonderful Wednesday. But we here, we here. So let's go, let's get it. Let's get it.
And then you guys already know it's Panel Wednesday. So Panel Wednesday means we give you guys an opportunity to come on the panel and join in with the conversation with us as we do different varieties of topics and also trending topics and stuff that might just pretty much hit you in the face. So Jordan, let's like always, let's start it. What's going on in the sports world?
Okay, let's talk about the NBA. You guys didn't know the Eastern Conference Finals started last night. The Pacers versus the Celtics. It was a hard-fought game, and out of the game went to overtime. I did watch the whole game because I was off last night, so I get a chance to watch it and everything. But the Celtics, they took the game of overtime from 128 to 133. Looking over the game, I feel like, the first quarter, the Boston's, they was, prepared and everything. But I feel like, during the game, Boston, where they had the lead, they didn't really shut, the Pacers down and everything. And now you see in Indiana, they came back up and everything. They tied it and had the lead. And tied it and had the lead and everything. I feel like for the Celtics, for me, they're good. So defensively, they kind of let them loose and, really have the Pacers playing offense because Pacers, they're the number one rated offense in the league, I believe, and everything. But yeah, it was a close, tight-knit game and went to overtime, and Celtics made the plays, and at the end, the Pacers, they did not make the plays, so the Celtics took game one. But looking at that game, I'm thinking that game might go make it a series because the Pacers was looking really, really good offensively against Boston. But what you guys take on the game of the first game one? If you guys watched on some of the highlights.
Yeah, watching the game one, I watched the first and second half, which is the first and second quarter, heading over to halftime. I had to get some rest because I work overnight. That was good, Joe. You was able to pretty much you was off and you was able to see the whole thing. So the Pacers, nobody expected the Pacers to go in there and did what they did because Pacers was pretty much the underdog. I think Boston was favored by 10 points, pretty much by 10 points and a half, and Pacers was able to go in there and cover that. So it kind of showed you that Vegas underestimates the Pacers. They thought the Pacers was going to come in there and pretty much Boston was coming there and pretty much whoop the Pacers. No, it was pretty much towards the end. Jaylen Brown shot that 3-point shot and were able to put the game over to overtime because Jaylen Brown would have missed that 3-point shot. Pacers would have won the game. Everybody would have pretty much been totally stunned because remember, Pacers is known for not having no defense. However, Boston is always known because remember they was number one in the East for offense and also defense. Remember they beat every team known to man in the East. But then you had the Pacers team who was struggling with the Knicks, and then coming to your town, Hakeem,
Yep.
Boston, and almost got whooped that way. But I already knew the Pacers known for being a shooting team, so that's why I knew they were gonna come in there pretty much and take over. Uh, pretty much shot the way they did. They shoot very well. The coach at the end of the day, towards during the press conference, he was very upset at Halliburton because Halliburton pretty much took a 3-point shot when he didn't even have to. When he had like three other players wide open, I was able to take the 3-point shot and put the game probably to another overtime. So it would have been a double overtime, but instead he took the shot and that pretty much went in the game. And then you have Tom's comes in and does his thing in the overtime. So, but let's see. But people still expecting the Pacers to get swept. I don't know. I still see a win or two. Probably one win at home and probably one win at Boston. Probably Thursday night, and then the rest Boston will take it and going on to the NBA Finals. But Hakeem, what is your take?
So when I glanced the game and I felt this was a tough Eastern Conference game. You talking about 133 to 128 victory over the Pacers. Jason Tatum really showed who he was at this game. 36 points, 10 overtime, and Jaylen Brown, shooting for 3-pointers. So I really thought they did their thing. It was a close one. But the Pacers are not to be messed with. So I do think they're gonna have to earn this win. I think they do got a healthy young team. I think that Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown is going to surprise us. I think they're going to sweep this.
Okay, that's a good call. Good call. That's a good call. Good call for the game one. Now tonight, the Western Conference Final starts, and that's the Mavericks versus Timberwolves, and that's going to be a good game. You know, you got Kyrie Irving, Luka Doncic versus Cat Carlson Towns, and my boy, they might call him Michael Jordan. That's Anthony Edwards, man. He's ice cold. So this game right here, I hope it's going to be out the game last night, because this game right here is going to be really, really good, really, really good. So I think I'm going to watch the first half of it when I go to work, before I go to work, and then, you know, look at the highlights when we get back to work and everything. So, yeah, exciting NBA conference finals we have. So hopefully they keep it up and everything. All right, people, we got good with the sports tag. We're going to go to the money topic of today, and we're going to talk about, you know, the banks. So we talked about last year about, there's some banks who went bankrupt and everything. Small banks, like banks up in Silicon Valley. Now, further news report is saying that, you know, there might be more small banks might be shutting down, you know, because of inflation, housing market. You know, there's a lot of things with the economics going on with, you know, with the United States and America. So to really break it down, I do have the clip for you guys to see what I'm talking about, how there might be more banks shutting down. And then after the clip, we'll chop it up. Go ahead, Hakeem.
All right.
Oh, shout out to Ken Dog. Shout out to Ashton. Shout out to Mimi. She's in the building. Shout out to Mimi. Shout out to, we got a new Kick person. MV Love. Shout out to you. MV Love. We see you. Shout out to people from Kick. Shout out to you, Rick Ross from Kick, too. Oh, people in the Kick really watching us, man.
And I appreciate y'all in the Kick world. That was the guys.
Kick.
Make sure y'all follow. Make sure y'all follow. Make sure you follow. And I'm glad you guys are coming over.
We appreciate you.
Love y'all.
We love y'all.
We keeping it coming.
First Republic are among the largest bank failures in U.S. history. And experts say more could be at risk. So what's going on, and is your money safe? I'm Layla Maiden, and I cover all things investing and money. Since the 2008 financial crisis, 542 banks have failed. And more recently, in 2024, Philadelphia's Republic First Bank shuttered its doors too.
There will be bank failures, but this is not the big banks.
But why are banks struggling right now? One reason is that they're vulnerable to interest rates, which are at the highest they've been in over 20 years. After March 2022, the Federal Reserve raised rates at the fastest pace since the 1980s to fight off inflation. This means borrowing is more expensive. Mortgage rates are now at the highest in over 2 decades. Business loans, auto loans, and credit card interest rates are also up. And this has really hurt consumers like you and me. But all of this is also crushing the bank's business. Here's why. First, since debt is expensive, fewer people are borrowing from banks, and some are even defaulting, including big-time landlords. Second, some banks are losing depositors who are moving money to high-yield savings account and money market funds that yield as high as 5%. Because let's face it, consumers can benefit from high interest rates too. But this means banks that want to keep your deposits have to pay you more for your money. And third, banks that bought long-term bonds when interest rates were lower are now less valuable because their yield is lower. And let's face it, nobody wants old bonds when the newer ones pay a higher yield. Okay, so banks are hurting right now, but what does that have to do with your deposits? Think of it this way. When you put your money in the bank, they don't just put it in a big pile of cash in a vault somewhere. They use most of it to lend it out and earn interest or invest in other assets. And this is called fractional reserve banking. So your money is not actually in the bank. And this is where problems can happen. A lack of good risk management could cause a bank to be caught off guard when economic conditions shift. And a bank faces the risk of failure when it cannot fulfill its promises to meet withdrawal needs or pay back those that it borrowed from. And this could happen because a bank is losing too much money from loans, investments, or rapid withdrawals, known as a bank run. So which banks are more vulnerable right now? Well, it's mainly the smaller regional or community banks that are facing the most pressure. This is because they tend to be less diversified when it comes to their depositors and borrowers. But these banks provide critical services in small towns and communities. They lend to small businesses, startups, smaller landlords, home buyers, farmers, and all of those people who may have a difficult time getting approved for a loan at a major bank. And when these smaller banks fail, they could be bought by bigger banks. So one example is JP Morgan Chase, which acquired a majority of the assets of First Republic in 2023. The problem is bank consolidation means smaller business owners may end up with less access to banking services, which at the end of the day hurts local businesses and communities. But if you don't use any of these small banks, why should you still care? Well, because it can impact the greater economy. Here's how. If small businesses and startups don't have access to money, it hurts economic growth. And plus, the fear caused by a collapsed bank has ripple effects, like depositors withdrawing from smaller banks altogether. The collapse of U.S. banks in recent years has raised some concerns about major financial challenges. Let's take Silicon Valley Bank, for example. It didn't have good risk management. It lacked a diverse customer base and mainly serviced tech startups and venture capitalists. This meant when business was good, it had a lot of access to cash, which it reinvested into long-term bonds when interest rates were low. But the tech sector is volatile, and when debt became expensive, startup founders faced barriers to funding and borrowing, so guess what they did? They increasingly turned to their deposits. This started a run on the bank, and the bank had to sell bonds at a loss to meet withdrawal needs. This caused a ripple effect because shortly after, Signature Bank faced a fear-based bank run because word got out that it too had tech and crypto exposure and a high volume of uninsured deposits. So during 2022 and 2023, it was actually the tech sector and the crypto sector that were in trouble. But right now, the main sector of concern is commercial real estate, because lower demand for office space combined with high interest rates has made this asset class riskier. In 2024, almost $1 trillion in commercial real estate loans are set to mature. And as they end, some of these loans will need to be renewed in a higher interest rate environment. Whether landlords can afford to keep them is in question. Commercial real estate foreclosures are already up by 117% from last year. This is why some want the Federal Reserve to begin cutting interest rates sooner, even though inflation is still high. It's also why Jerome Powell recently said that banks at most risk will be those that have high exposure to commercial real estate loans and high exposure to uninsured deposits. And so the first bank failure of 2024 was Republic First Bank, and that's because of its commercial real estate exposure. Now, the stress on banks this time around isn't as bad as it was in 2008. Since the financial crisis, regulators have more experience managing risk and contagion. And on a positive note, data shows that less than 7% of bank failures since 2007 resulted in losses for uninsured depositors. That said, here's what you can still do to protect your money. First, make sure your bank offers FDIC-insured deposits. That's the U.S. agency that insures up to $250,000 in your account in the event your bank does fail. But if you have more than that, consider splitting the accounts into a checking and a savings account, or under different ownership categories, such as a business account. You can also move it to a different bank to keep deposits under the insured limit. Overall, predicting if a bank is going to fail is difficult, but remaining informed and asking questions to your bank is one way to keep our banking system safe.
Yeah, man, it's sad to hear like a lot of small banks that might be closing because you know how the economy is and everything, you know. And the lady who was talking about, she was really breaking down what she was talking about, you know, how to save your money and everything. But go ahead, Hakeem. You know, what's your take with with these small banks closing down, which may impact small communities?
Economically, we've seen this happen. When you don't see businesses being loaned to, you don't see a lot of businesses coming up. I've read about this. I've seen this trend. Synchrony Bank wasn't the And my apologies, Silicon Valley Bank wasn't the only one. There was other smaller banks that was getting eaten up. Even here in Miami, a lot of the Bank of Americas had closed down in certain areas. So we, you can gradually see a shift, and this is going to hurt the economy even more. We just got to be smarter with our money. Where do you invest at? Do you keep every money in there? We learn now you got to diversify your bag. Don't just put your money all in one account. I got crypto. I got money in stocks. And if you're smart and if you want, go buy a property. Get you a cheap property somewhere and let your money work for you. Not all of it is good to sit in the bank.
And that's one of the issues we're having in America. So the problem is because during the pandemic, even though Trump, a lot of people have stimulus checks. Stimulus means you were supposed to stimulate the economy. So the money they was giving you, you were supposed to pretty much put back into the economy. Now, when it comes to the aspect of these banks, especially small banks, banks survive off interest rate. If people not taking loans out for homes, if people not taking loans out for school, if people not taking loans out for businesses, it hurts the banks. That's how they make their money. They make their money off loans, off interest rate. That's why some banks, if you go and try to get a home today, some interest rate is very high based off your credit. If your credit is very low, they might overlook it and might give you a higher interest rate than someone that have a very high credit. So that's why it's very important, especially for these smaller banks, to know, okay, how can we better the consumers so they could come here, get the loan, get the interest rate so we can survive. And not only that, but also you have big banks like Bank of America, JP Morgan, you got Wells Fargo. All these big banks are coming in and taking out the little banks, meaning they going buying the little banks out because they know nobody's going there, because people always go to the banks that's very well known. Like, for example, I go to Bank of America a lot. However, Bank of America still, mind you, this is my own personal opinion. They savings account is not that good compared to American Express. Remember, this is all personal opinion. So, guys, make sure you go and do your due diligence when it comes to the
It's
aspect of
not
financial
financial
advice.
advice.
You know what I'm saying? So this is all personal opinion. I'm just saying, instead of going to American Express, what does offer a great savings rate, about 4%, which kind of close beat the rate of inflation. You want stuff that consumers are looking at stuff like that, so they're taking their money out of smaller banks and putting their money into those type of banks that offer great interest rate for your money. Pretty much your savings account is literally making money for you than some of these other banks that it makes no money at all. And not only that, but the online banking is on the rise. And one final point, I do agree with Hakeem. Make sure your money is working for you. I learned this from a wise man. Do not leave your money in the bank. If you got over 10K in the bank, you better make sure that 10K is making you over a lot of money. You can put your money into the crypto, you can put your money into stocks, put your money into some small investment. Hell, you can even put your money into some land, because now, especially when you got places like Miami, Houston, New York, LA, where they're doing strong innovating. Money there, make some money, because hell, time is money, and hell, your money should be making money for you. Well, go ahead, Jordan.
Yeah, exactly. And I want to say this, it's very sad to see, small banks, also credit unions. And the reason I want to say credit unions, usually if you want a loan, like a house loan, personal loan, anything, you usually get a lower interest rate if you go to these big banks like Bank of America or Chase or U.S. Bank, something like that and everything. And I feel like it's very important, in the smaller cities and everything, you have a local small bank, a local credit union and everything, it's, make sure, you touch those type of banks and everything. Because if you go to, a big bank, it's hard, especially if you're black, it's hard to get a house loan. It's hard to get a personal loan or a car loan or anything like that and everything. Also, your job and everything. Usually a job, they're close with a bank. Usually a small bank like my job, we're with the credit union, with the union and everything, and they help your workers out to get like a car loan, a personal loan, or a house loan and everything. So I'm just saying, like, credit unions are a little bit more useful because they give lower interest rates on any loans you get and everything. And I feel like it's very, very important, to keep those type of banks out there because, I think, a lot of, young folks, we see Chase banks, we ride around all the time, big cities or small cities, or Bank of America or Wells Fargo, so U.S. banks and everything, which is cool and everything. But if you want to, start getting loans and everything. Once you have money saved or anything, it's important to have small banks and everything to keep the economy and stimulate, especially with small communities and everything. And like I said, and what we just heard and everything. Yeah, I agree with the lady. I agree with you guys. Don't just keep your money in one account. If you got a checking account, savings account, or invest in stocks or bonds, make sure your money is just all over the place. Because if you have money in one big pot and something happens to a bank, that's done diddle right there. So yeah, this be like I said, more we try to say is, just be smart with your money and everything. Let there's a lot of options out there that you can go invest and also save your money. Bank is just number one. Where there's other things you can do that you can save your money and everything. And going back to to banks that will help you out and give you like lowest interest rates. Usually smaller banks, and also credit unions will help you out. Will help you out a little bit more and everything. Even though our economy is hectic right now, they'll still give you the best option than big banks like Chase and Bank of America.
Well said. Well said. And like always, it's time to get in the neat and greedy. So guys, make sure that you walk in, make sure you hit that like button. Please make sure you subscribe. Please make sure you hit that notification bell. Shout out to those that's watching us right now on Facebook, Instagram, Kick, and also Twitch. We really do greatly appreciate you guys. Now we're moving forward, guys. Remember, it's panel Wednesday, so we give you guys the opportunity to come on the panel and then join in the conversation with us. Don't be afraid. Don't be scared. And make sure if you do come on, make sure you come up in the back. And if you come on the back, you can also come on the panel and you can come right off. You don't have to be because I know some people are still working. Some people have different time zones. So go ahead, Jordan. Do your thing.
All right, let's go. Let's get it. We got to jump into the Diddy topic because it's still trending and everything. And he's still trending. He's gonna be probably trending for the rest of the week and everything. He's definitely the trender of the month of May right already. But more things has come out as in back to the apology that he put out, and why the reason he didn't say Cassie's names. Well, the reason he didn't say Cassie's names because he cannot say her name, and also Cassie cannot say Diddy name, which is in an NDA, a very strict NDA. So that's why Diddy couldn't say Cassie's name, and also with Cassie cannot say Diddy name as well. So that's why he, what God said, why he really apologized, or why she didn't say her name. It's because it is the NDA that they both cannot say names out in public. But more to that, his bodyguard, he came out talking about Diddy, about the past of him, assaulting women as well. Also, Stephen A. Smith took his take, talk about Diddy's PR, why you would put an apology like that. And also, Raven Simone, she talked about, going with Diddy about, how, it's, here in the statute of limitation, I think it's like, if it's 5 years or more, you really can't charge, and that's why the LA, they can't charge Diddy because of statute of limitation. And Raven Simone was saying why, it should be no limitation coming to violence. So we have three videos for you guys. After that, we're gonna chop it up.
The actual level of violence has been very shocking to people to watch any man do that to a woman, particularly a very high-profile man doing it in such brazen public manner. In a public place like that was even more shocking, that he had no compulsion about doing this where there may be cameras. But was that indicative of Diddy's general behavior towards women?
In my light, I would say yes. In my light, I would say yes. It didn't surprise me when I saw it because I've seen things to this nature before. I've gotten in between things of this nature before. And this was back in 2012. So that's why I was so adamant on what I said yesterday after he posted that apology, because it comes a time where it's like, you can't just say anything you want to say and think that people going to accept it. You know what I'm saying? I think it's a God syndrome, the same way that he's been in a lot of trouble before. for and you could pay your way out. He knew those cameras was there, you know, but of course, as we heard, he came back to the hotel and he paid to get the footage, but didn't know, which Cassie said inside her complaint, that they gave her a copy of the footage also. You know what I'm saying? So when you go through life just paying your way out, I really feel like he wasn't sorry about that. Yeah, he might be sorry now. He's sorry that he got caught. But if that was a one-time incident, then I would say accept his apology. But I think in that apology, he said what he thought people wanted to hear.
How many times did you personally witness him be violent towards women?
Around 4 or 5 times.
And was that all with Cassie, or was it Cassie and other women?
I seen him with Cassie, and I seen him with Kim Porter, his kid's mother.
Right, who's now sadly no longer with us. But what did you see him do?
I've seen him get physical. I've seen him get really physical, grab him up. It was one time that Cassie mentioned inside her lawsuit where she said she had to go over to the London hotel. I was the one that was checking on her every day at the London hotel. You know what I'm saying? So I know that to be true. I seen him get into some wrestling and punching matches. And sometimes I felt like, what are you mad at? What are you upset about? Because it's a deeper anger when you hitting and punching a woman in that type of manner. And it's okay. It's understood if you have a problem with one woman and you seek things, but when you have a problem with every woman that you're dealing with, then I think that problem is inside of you.
What did you see him do with Kim Porter?
I seen him inside the car, grab her up. I seen him smack her, you know. And one thing about Kim is Kim got to the point where she fought back because she realized how powerful she was. It was one incident on Sunset Boulevard in front of the Beverly Hills Hotel where I just seen the car rocking back and forth. You know, of course, he put everybody out the car, but I seen the car shaking, so I opened the door. I said, what are you doing? You know, what are you doing? You see where we at, and what are you doing? And Kim got out the car like nothing happened, and she fixed her hair, and she told him, she said, I want to see you explain to the media that scratch I'm going to put across your face if you put your hands on me again. And that was Kim's attitude. Kim's attitude was, she realized that what he had to explain meant more to him than anything. And once she realized she had that power, she said, nah, not no more. Because you're going to have to explain why you all marked up.
The actual level of violence has been very shocking.
There's always been rumors in the industry of his shenanigans, and it's always been kind of hush-hush put underneath the rug, and now things and windows are starting to open, and I think he's distraught because he knows that his money's about to deplete.
Oh, he's distraught, for sure.
I think he's apologetic.
But not for his behavior towards hurting another. I don't think he's apologizing and apologetic for what has happened to Cassie or any of the people he's hurt. I think he's sorry for himself.
I think he's sorry that he got caught. I do feel like he's sincerely apologetic. What for?
We don't know.
Exactly. We hope that it's to Cassie. And we'll see once all of Cassie's legal...
There's no legal.
There's no legal?
No.
Yes, it is. She's suing him, right?
No.
Why not?
There are no legal repercussions because of the statute of limitations. It has been 8 years. No one can charge anything against him. It has been too long.
That's disrespectful. That's something that I want to bring to the government. Trauma is forever. That will for always be within Cassie's body.
Her lawyer did release a statement regarding the video, essentially saying, this is bogus and no one is going to take this seriously. It's a trash apology.
Then for Diddy to really apologize, I'm going to need him to give her all the rights to, I've been waiting so
it was like
long.
$50,000. And that was the other thing. It's like, how can you put a number on that? Like, you're going to say that that's $50,000.
They put a number on everything. Welcome to America.
Yeah, but $50,000
is horrible. That's what I'm saying. We're disgusted with his behavior, so any behavior after is going to be tainted. Yeah, there's always been rumors in the industry of his
because I want to know first and foremost who the hell was the PR person or the advisor or somebody who was dumb enough to tell him to do that bullshit video. It's just dumb. But I'll get into all of that in a minute, because before I go any further into my opinion, I want to show that of another person who spoke out. The one and only Ryan Clark, football analyst extraordinaire, who had this to say on his very, very, very popular podcast, The Pivot.
The first thing, and we need to be honest, like, Sean Combs is a bitch.
Yeah.
Right? And I think the men who are around him and knew he was that, they bitches too. I do have two little girls, and we sort of got into the conversation when he was brought up by Floyd Mayweather, and some of the things he was saying is like, no, if he did those things, he's a monster. Mm-hmm. If he did those things, he should rot in jail. And it's not to say that he should be in a place to where he could never be forgiven. That's between him and God. That's between him and Cassie. But we can look at that as men and say that some things you don't get to come back from.
There are things that you don't get to come back from. And I'm very, very similar to my brother Ryan Clark from the standpoint that I believe America is the land of second chances. I'm usually of the mindset that everybody deserves second chances. Not rapists, not murderers, not pedophiles. But for the most part, I'm good with second chances. The problem is that doesn't apply here with Sean P. Diddy Combs. Because you see, the second chance is if you had come out immediately acknowledging that you were wrong once the accusations were first levied against you, instead of excoriating those who were throwing the allegations out against you, like Cassie Ventura. The fact that there is a quote from just this past December, which you emphatically, adamantly, categorically denying there was any truth to what was being said, throws that second chance right out the window. I don't enjoy saying this. I've met P. Diddy a few times over the years, always cool with me. That apology was bullshit. It was embarrassing. I don't know who told him, who thought for a second that it would work. 50 Cent was on his Instagram page. Just go look at it. Saying the same thing. Who advised him to do this? This is bad. This ain't going to work. Because it comes across as inauthentic. Because there's literally proof via a quote from you denying everything. Everything. And accusing your accusers of looking for a payday. There's so many questions that emanate from this. You settled the case in a day. That made you look guilty enough as it is. One day after the allegations came out, they must have told you about the video. We still got questions about where the hell was the video all of these years? Who had it? Who ultimately released it? There's also reports about somebody being paid $50,000 for P. Diddy to get a hold of the tape. Well, damn, that's all? You would think you'd have gave up $50 million to make sure that tape never got out. And when we look at Ryan Clark, I'm not going to call P. Diddy a bitch or any other name like that. But I ain't going to stop anybody else from doing it. I'm not going to malign them. You don't hit women when you're a man. You certainly don't kick them like you're kicking a damn field goal. Because I want to know first and foremost who the hell was the PR person or the advisor or somebody who was dumb enough to tell him.
Yeah, so and also there's also new information with Diddy. So there's a former model claims she's suing Diddy for a sexual assault back in 2003. So that's a civil suit. I believe yeah, that's a civil suit. So she's trying to get the money off him. And also Shaka Khan's daughter, let me see if I can find it real quick. She has something to say. I just seen it about her brother. Damn, just had it. Oh, here it is. So Shaka Khan started to share a comment under Diddy's apology video. She said, I'm glad this is happening to you. You got in my mother's face and publicly disrespected her, yelling and screaming like a lunatic when my little brother tried to get you out of my mother's face. Your security jumped my 19-year-old brother. These may be your dark days, but I'm singing and dancing watching your demise. My mother is a great mind. This is Shaka Khan's daughter who put a comment under Diddy's apology and everything. So yeah, man, it's like I said, this Diddy's is like I said, it's gonna get worse and worse. You might see more videos coming out and everything, and you know, and I think and it's gonna be a lot more people coming out, you know, to sue him, you know, to grab as much money as he can, grab as much money as he possibly can from Diddy, and that's what I was looking at right now. So go ahead, Ronnie, man. What's your take on more Diddy updates and what's going on?
But remember, I said it on Monday, and I'm gonna keep saying it again. Now the celebrities want to come out and speak about it. Why didn't you do it back then? That's my only issue with the whole P Diddy situation. They always wait until someone's about to be on the downfall, and then they want to come in and attack and beat up the man. That's the only thing I don't like about that, especially when it comes to these women. Remember Hakeem and Jordan. I keep saying it. They're not trying to put him in jail. They're trying to get money off of him. How do that make it look? It doesn't make it look good. If you really think P Diddy is that demon, put him in jail like y'all do everybody else. But instead, they're gonna try to get money off this man and try to say, "Oh, let me see how much money I get out." Because I saw Cassie got 30 million off of him, so let me see if I can get at least 5 or 10 million off of him. It doesn't work like that. That's why I say. Do people really see P Diddy as a demon, or they just using this opportunity to pretty much to get money and clout? Do they want to see any form of resolution when it comes to women being domestically hurt by the aspect of the person they actually love? Or do people really don't care about women? And I remember Hakeem, I tell you that a lot of time. A lot of and Jordan as well. A lot of these men really hate women. They're just doing this opportunity right now because they say it's a right time opportunity to make my name popular, let my podcast know. Come on, Stephen. Hakeem, how long Stephen A been in the game?
For so long.
So you telling me, especially here in Hollywood, so you telling me no one in Hollywood say, man, P. Diddy be putting his hands on that woman? Why didn't he cover it back then? That's what I'm saying. Like they won't do it. They feel like it's the right opportunity. And one more thing before I let you go, Hakeem. I personally believe his PR son didn't do it. I'm just honest. I think he did it on his own. I think he just got tired of people talking crap about him. So he said, you know what, I'm gonna just say something. I'm gonna apologize. Because remember, he's a narcissist, so he know how the game go. I'm gonna apologize. Everything calms down. I'm gonna win the people back up again. Shout out to President Tamika that's in the building. Go and also Joe don't hurt him that's in the building as well. Go ahead, Hakeem.
I want to answer this question that Joe Don't Hurt Him fed. He says, do you brothers agree that those who seek redemption should come forward first before being exposed, as they will show remorse? 100%.
Of course.
Yes. It's best to tell your dirty laundry first before the laundry gets exposed. Come out and seek redemption. And you know that's in any religion. Now, I'm going to come at this a different angle, and I want people to hear me out first. We supposed to forgive and educate our brothers when they come do something wrong. We forgive people who unalive people. We forgive a lot of people. Now, the thing that I'm a little bit confused about is he needs to seek redemption, take classes, and make sure he understands what he did was wrong. Nobody supports that. But what I'm not going to do is make Puff Daddy a poster boy for black men in DV. I'm not supporting that because that's where it's heading to. There's a lot of other races who do DV, but it seems like they doing a campaign for black men who DV. Stop me when I'm wrong.
Yeah, they try to put him higher than Weinstein and Epstein.
Now, mind you, there's been a lot of guys who's done even worse than him, and they're not talking about him. Weinstein, Epstein, the guy from what is that white football player a couple years ago who beat his girlfriend up.
Seattle. I forgot his. I know you're talking about.
Yeah, I know you're talking about too. Yeah.
Swept it right under the rug.
They swept right under the rug, but they bring up the Ray Rice before him.
Real easy. And Ray Rice paid. He lost his contract. Funny enough, he'd been apologizing ever since, and he still ain't.
And his wife forgave him, and they're still married to this day.
They still married to this day. But if the white man can be forgiven, can Diddy be forgiven? That's the question we need to ask. There's a lot of vitriol comes when it's a race component behind it. Let me give a disclaimer again, because I have to say this because people might think I do not support this. I'm happy Diddy is this. I want him to seek retribution. He needs to apologize to her to try to, I know whatever apology he's going to do, he's saying, and this and that, he says, Precious to me said, you're not wrong. Is an attack on our black men. However, we know the world we live in and the racism always play an issue. 100% Precious Tamika. Zach Stacy, thank you, Lord Protein. Lord Pride Protein. Thank you, bro. It's been a while we seen you, brother.
Yeah, I hope everything's well. I hope everything's well.
It's good to see you. Now, I want to say this. If we're going to make this a DV situation, I want it for all. You feel me? And we need to make every single person pay, no matter where you come from. It's a lot of people who do these things, so that's what I'm saying. But if we say we can't forgive him, if he's sincere, that apology wasn't sincere. But if he goes to God and seek redemption, and he tries every day, are we still supposed to say F him? Whew. PhD, that is a good question. I'm not saying this. I'm not saying attack. I just say I don't want Diddy to be used to weaponize, to say that, to make this that black men are the poster boy for DV situations. Because I've been on TikTok and it's heading that way. Because Puffy's face on it. I do not support it. He needs to be sanctioned, but we're not going to make this a component of that. We need this to be stretched out for everybody.
I would say this. The thing is, what the dude they're gonna do with Diddy Hakeem, especially the white media, especially with CNN, NBC, they're gonna spread it out because everything. So they're gonna push this out probably all the way to the summertime, maybe in the rest of this year and everything. And that's what they gonna do to the black men and everything.
Yeah.
But go back to the point where Ronnie said about why did people didn't come out earlier, and you remember you said this to Hakeem. You told me earlier how Diddy, kind of was a gangster in a way, He was muscle you.
He was.
A lot of people in the 90s, 2000, and some people to this day, they was afraid of Diddy. They was clearly afraid of Diddy. They felt like he was going to send somebody to his house, or how he was acting and everything, how he's a verbal abuse to a lot of people and everything. That's why Cassie didn't say something till this day. That's why Kim Porter, she didn't say anything to her present death, which you might find out more later this year if Diddy was involved with her death and everything. It's just a lot of people just afraid, because they thought Diddy was a gangster like that they would send somebody to this house and take him out. And that's the thing about, especially a lot of women. A lot of women that he was with was petrified against Diddy. Petrified. They was like, they didn't know what to do. They couldn't go nowhere. They couldn't talk to their families about it. They couldn't talk to their friends, their sisters, their brothers, because how they were so afraid of Diddy and everything. that's why reason why a lot of women are coming out to this day, because now all headlines against him, and now Diddy is he's digging a deep grave to himself, and that's why I see a lot of women coming out, because now they not so afraid no more. It's okay. Now it's a perfect time to speak my truth of all the Diddy's exes, of them coming up and speaking to, okay, this is what Diddy done to me and everything, because Diddy's very at a vulnerable state and everything. And I guess that's why the women went to Diddy, to be at a vulnerable state, so they could jump on him, and I wish they would have put not the civil charge, but put criminal charges against him, to put this man in jail, because the things that we're hearing that happened in ruins in the last 20-30 years, he should be criminalized and put into jail. And I'm that's the right thing to do, to put Diddy and everything. I know you're trying to take money, try to bank him out and everything, but for Diddy, that man needs to be in jail. Point blank, period. And all the black men that I'm with, Ronnie saying the same thing. He should be criminalized. We don't know why his women is taking money. I know it's pain and suffering and everything, but you need to criminalize this man as well. Find a way.
Right.
And that's for me. I think he should be criminalized and put his ass in jail and everything. But a lot of women, they're just gonna take money. They feel like it's paying selfish as well. But the thing is, it's like, all these women are going to therapy. They're not talking about getting therapy or anything. I didn't hear Cassie say she was going to therapy. I didn't hear, or any of these women, I had to go to therapy and everything. For all these women who got DV, please get some therapy. Because I know with Diddy, it's super duper traumatic. And how people was afraid. I know a lot of women was really afraid of Diddy because what he might do and everything. They might think like, Diddy might not take me out this world and everything. So I wish these women to really go to therapy, get some therapy. If you're gonna take the money, please get some therapy. Because therapy is very, very important and everything. Because, like I said, when we hear from Diddy in the past, I know it's very traumatic. Having nightmares when you go to sleep and everything, or just at one day, you might be thinking, and then all of a sudden you might think of the situation happening to Diddy with domestic violence, and it might pop up and everything. I know, trauma is very bad. How Diddy was that person to do and everything. But at the end of the day, like I said, I believe the feds is gonna get on him, try to make a case. Especially with the human trafficking, and try to indict them and put them in front of the prison. That's what I think. Go ahead, I can't.
Now that, but shout out to Lord Sprite Protein once again. And hey, Queen Lady, I ain't seen you in a long time. I hope everything's well between you and your family. Great to see you in the chat, because you disappeared like a ghost. But I understand sometimes you need to take a break from this YouTube space. But it's great to see you. Not only that, but Christopher J is in the building. Great to see you, my brother. You're doing great content. I'll be seeing you over there on Instagram. I'll be watching on Instagram. You're also doing a great time over there. And also the lovely Supreme Goddess PH Diva is also in the building. Great to see her, like always. But guys, don't be afraid. Click that link if you want to time into the conversation. It's Panel Wednesday, so we give you guys an opportunity to pretty much to voice your opinion. So don't be afraid. Come right over here. We don't bite. Maybe Hakeem do, and maybe probably Jordan a little bit, but I don't. You see, I don't bite. I'm harmless. I'm not at the end of the day. But go ahead, Hakeem and Jordan. Y'all final take on this topic.
Yeah, my final take. I wanted to say this to PH Diva.
Go ahead.
I wanted to tell PH Diva, I want to highlight the negative things particular men do. And I don't want to speak in generalities, nor put a race component behind it, because that's dangerous and it's divisive. Because then now when we put these labels and components on it, we need to start looking at our brothers and sisters if we start putting that label on, instead of making it a general conversation. You know what I mean?
And I have a shout out to the lovely Stephanie Watkins. My apologies, sweetheart. I forgot to say that you was in the building. You're also in the building as well. Stephanie Watkins is also here in the building. But go ahead, PH Diva. Your thoughts before we head on to the next topic. Go ahead, PH Diva. Are you there?
I'm here.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
How you doing, Pretty Red?
How you know she red? I don't think she's red at all. How do you know she's red?
She just sound like she a red bone.
Nigga.
She a black woman in the South. She like, nigga, go ahead.
Nigga, please.
Right. Brother Hakeem,
How you doing
criticize
today?
you.
How you
I'm
doing
good.
today, Queen, Supreme Goddess?
Wonderful. How are you, my brother?
I'm blessed and I'm highly favored. In your grace.
So I think I was in the shower, so I was in and out. But I think I heard you saying, and I think that's when I commented that you were saying like, don't make black men the poster child of DV, and it needs to be all men need to be held accountable. Correct? Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. So that's very disingenuous, right? Just because if you were concerned about all men being held accountable for DV, then you would have been having this conversation. It wouldn't have took Puffy for y'all to be having this conversation, right? So it's like, hold on. It's like, are you aware that there's an International Men's Day?
No, I'm not sure about that.
In November, but it's not talked about. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
But most men don't, when most men find out there's an International Men's Day? On International Women's Day, right? So most men aren't even concerned about a day for men until they find out that there's a day for women. Then, and we can track this through Google searches, right? The searches for International Men's Day, they spike on December 1st, which is International Women's Day. And so again, that's just an example of how people aren't concerned about something until, there's, a point to be made, right? And so that's disingenuous. If it's the case that black men are concerned about being the poster children for domestic violence, then these are conversations y'all need to be having on the regular, right? Y'all need to be holding your brothers accountable. Y'all need to be talking about these things and saying, hey, bro, this ain't acceptable. Don't wait until one of y'all get put on Front Street and then you want to make it an issue for all men.
No, I agree with you 100%. So just to say this, and in our catalog, we have talked about this.
Mm-hmm.
We've covered, and don't get me wrong, I get where you're coming from. I guess it has to be double downed. And but we've covered the Ray Rice situation. We've covered the situation in Seattle with the white boy who beat up his girlfriend. We've covered a numerous of stuff. We had similar topics here talking about, we even talked about women unaliving, black women getting unalived. One of our most viewed videos is Mercedes Moore, who was the girl who got unalived in Houston. Okay. And so we do talk about these things, and I do get where you're coming from as far as this. I just think that as me being a black man, as my dad, my brother, and a lot of us who don't do these things, sometimes we can get blended into this conversation where speaking so general can be very dangerous. And I'm not saying that our brothers don't do it. I'm not saying that there's a lot of these guys who have vicious conversations about it. You know what I mean? I just don't want to be the face of it, because I think it harms us in a way, and that's the point where if we could start. Because don't get me wrong, I've never seen something this more I always see these things like this amplified when there's a black face behind it. I've yet to see a person who have similar accusations ever get talked about to this amount. We've been hearing rumors about this 100%. And as soon
they did R. Kelly like the same way, but the thing is with R. Kelly, like we talk about, we put him accountable. But
we talked about the R. Kelly stuff too.
We put him he's at the height, but the thing is, like, remember we talked about Weinstein about charges got dropped with him in New York. Now now he still got charges in Los Angeles. LA. Hopefully,
in LA.
In LA, and hopefully that work out and everything. Right. And also with Epstein and everything, I feel like with Epstein, it's talked about, but it's not making any noise as we talked about R. Kelly and P. Diddy.
So PhD, but I want to ask you a question. Mm-hmm. Do you think the way the media covers this, do you think there's a big race component behind the emphasis behind certain accusations behind certain people?
Are we specifically talking about Diddy? Because Diddy has a status that not many people have. So they did talk quite a bit about Epstein, right? And he ended up no longer here, right?
Yeah.
And so he got the ultimate punishment, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yes.
So I think that there probably is a racial component into how things are emphasized or how much things are publicized. Certainly, I would agree with that. But the thing is, if you expecting another group of people to treat you fairly, given the history of this country when you've never been treated fairly, right? So you're going to have to figure out a way to start addressing your own problems internally. And that's part of the issue. A lot of other groups are able to address and solve their own problems internally, right? And so if you don't want to be, because, okay, so would you say that most black men don't engage in that type of behavior that Puppy does?
I'll be lying to say you said don't engage.
Yeah, don't engage.
I'll be lying to say no, like to saying that most because I don't know the statistics behind it. You know what I mean? I'll be lying to
most black men beat up women.
No,
That is
I don't.
correct.
Yeah,
that is correct. It's a statistical fact. I'm not.
Yeah.
No, I ain't say anything. She's right. That's correct.
Right. And so then y'all, the ones who don't, have to be much more vocal, right? And checking the when you see conditions that are conducive to that type of behavior in other black men, right? So you all are already the poster children for disrespecting your women, right?
Yep. I can't disagree with you on that.
Correct. No, that's
right.
correct.
Right. Yeah. And so it's not a far stretch from, broadcasting that you like to openly disrespect your women and beating the brakes off a woman, right? And so, again, the ones who don't, since it's most of you, then y'all need to be more vocal and y'all need to start checking this behavior, right? Because even the ones who don't engage in the behavior, y'all are bought to, the songs where black men are talking about disrespecting black women. So that's why you the poster child, right? Because you like to broadcast your degeneracy, whether or not all of y'all doing it or most of you doing it or not, right? You like to broadcast it and put it on Front Street.
Diva, Chicago Rilla, it said, what is the statistical data that supports most black women beat their women?
What?
Like, okay, you
said what?
Rilla, come up here and ask me. Don't put it in the chat. Hit the link and come up here and ask me. Woo!
And I ain't about shout out to Hank in the basement. Go ahead, PhD. Go ahead.
No, because I literally said, do you think most black men don't do it?
No,
right?
no.
So that's the premise we're working under. That most black men don't beat women.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm saying y'all got to be more vocal.
Yeah. No, you're right.
No, I agree with you. I do agree with you.
I agree with you. So besides us being more vocal, what other things you think as far as us as being black men to try to help the situation, or basically, trying to understand women's flight when it comes to these things, or to try to maybe curb it, or whatever aspect we can go about it.
Right. So I think just realization and acceptance that women are people, right? And they're equal to you, right? And they have, as much agency as you. They got, they as smart as you, all the things, right? So they're on equal footing with you. And so when men stop thinking that they own women or trying to use money to control women, then you can cut down on a lot of that behavior.
The thing is about it, PhD, I agree with that. But the thing is, it's like with this, how the space is right now. So if you go to YouTube and now spread it to Instagram and other social medias and everything, and it's like, it's like the propaganda of how, men versus women, especially the black community and everything. Mm-hmm. This conversation needs to be stopped, and we need to talk about something else, because if we keep talking about men versus women and everything, we're not going to get nowhere.
Well, certainly. And so how do we have conversations that are about interdependence and like community building and working together, right? So the thing is, I've been on panels where that's the goal of the of the panel, but then invariably you will get a black man who will get up there and say something about, needing to be the leader the men need to be the leaders, or the men somehow being more intelligent or knowing more about what needs to be done than the women. And if I'm on that panel, then I'm gonna count the ways in how y'all ain't no damn leaders. And you get what I'm saying? And so then it devolves from there. And so again, I think if Black men can just accept that women are your equals, you're not smarter than women. You're not better suited for leadership than women just because you pee standing up. I think that will go a long way.
I was gonna say this, PhD, I'll do you one better. How about we not just entertain this people that talk about this? Start watching these videos, because as us in the Black community, we find this stuff entertaining and everything. That's why we keep going on people's channels when this person's going on doxing somebody, or this person attacking another person and everything. We find it entertainment and everything. But we talk about how to help the Black community, especially here on Chaos Culture Radio, which we've been doing this for years, playing it 3 or 4 years right now. We don't get the views as other people that's entertaining and everything, with this men versus women, with the propaganda and everything like that. And we just don't find it entertaining. And the thing is like, if we look at stuff that's entertaining, going at each other and everything, that gets the views.
Yeah.
But, and that's the bad thing about our Black community. We like to watch entertainment when it comes to talk about men versus women.
And not only that, but YouTube also people fail to realize YouTube actually promotes dysfunction. You don't notice that people that talk about the craziest things always push into the algorithm that someone actually talking about serious topics. Because I recently did a research about that. Like YouTube will promote dysfunction. They want dysfunctional because we live in a dysfunctional society. That's why when we have issues, I told Hakeem and Jordan a long time ago, when we talk about serious topics, best believe we're not gonna get the views. It's gonna be a slow ride. It's not gonna be a quick ride than everybody else's panel. I'm just letting you know. That's how the games run on YouTube. That's how games run on social media. That's why I told Hakeem and Jordan, I spoke about it on Monday. How come you have Krishan Rock and Blueface show makes so many ratings throughout the week when there's a man clearly beating up a woman, a Black man beating up a white woman? Go ahead, Chicago Rilla. Your take before we move on to the next topic. Go ahead.
No, I wanted to peace to y'all, family. What's good, man? It's been
peace to my brother. Great to see you.
Good to see you.
No, I'm usually in the clouds, man. J Money, I don't even know how you got time to be over here when you got that new baby. You know what I'm saying, that you posted pictures of and everything, man. You muted, bro. You super muted.
Jordan, you muted.
You muted.
I think you muted on purpose.
That's why
I see the top. I see the blanket right there.
Yeah, I'm doing it. I'll find a way.
I'm so glad I'm retired, man.
I'm ready to have 5.
Yeah, we know.
I'm ready to have 5.
You single-handedly gonna make sure we continue as a race.
Oh, definitely.
We know.
Hey, listen, solution-based.
You gonna give a 5, Lord Jesus. No, I just pulled up, man, because I'm doing some work around the house and I was listening from the clouds, and then I popped in on the conversation that y'all having around Black men. So I was just curious because you all said that there was statistical data to support that most Black men beat their women and that there's a minority of Black men who do not. So I was just curious if we could cite the source for where we get the information that most Black men are beating their women.
Who said that, Rilla?
No, Rilla, it was a miscommunication.
No. Who said that, Rilla?
So I believe you said it, Diva, and then I believe the brothers. I believe somebody. I don't know if it was Hakeem or Ron.
Hold on. Okay.
Go ahead,
what I'm gonna need you to do.
Well, just clarify the point, Diva. We don't have to do that. That's the part. No, we don't, Diva. And this is what I'm talking. No. And this is what I'm talking about, Diva. This is what you do, Diva, and that's not cool.
I don't
care. What I'm saying? I'm asking you a clarifying question.
And we literally clarified it several times.
Where I just did you? Well, so here's what I need you to do, Diva. I said I chimed in. I came in literally on the part where y'all talk about Black men, and I reiterated what I heard you say.
You didn't hear me say that. That's the problem. You did not hear me. If you heard me say that, then
okay. What did you say, Diva? And listen, I'm really not even trying to do that with you, Diva. I know what you do, And I'm just telling you,
What
that
do
junk
I
is
do?
not cool.
What do I do? I
All
speak
those
very
ad
clearly. That's
hominems
what
and
I
that.
do.
I heard you say
I
pop
speak
up
very
on the panel like
clearly.
you talking like you a dude or something, Diva. That's not cool.
Okay, well, I'm talking
That's
very
not
clearly.
cool.
And
No,
so if
you
you
not.
still don't understand what I'm
Okay, so
saying,
what
then
did
that's
you
a you
say,
problem.
Diva? So what did you say?
I said it multiple times. We said it back and forth several times. So again, baby, if you don't
So
understand by
what
now,
did
then
you
that's a
say?
you
So
problem.
you're
I'm
saying I
not
didn't hear
repeating
you?
it.
Okay,
I'm not repeating it.
listen, it can be a me problem. So let me not talk to
Yeah.
you then. Let me ask
What?
Hakeem. Hakeem, did I not hear
The fuck?
Diva say that most black men beat their woman?
No. She no. Let me tell you what happened. She was asking a question,
Right.
and she said she wondered, do most black men beat their women? Do better? Are we
I
saying
heard her
that?
ask you that.
She said, do most black men don't beat their women, or do most black men beat their women? So
That's
she was
not what
like,
I said at
And you
all.
said I would
That's
be
not what
lying
I
if
No,
said
no.
at
you
all.
said
And
I
see,
would
this
be
is the
lying.
problem with
No.
y'all. Y'all do
No,
not
no, no.
There is
listen.
no problem.
I made a mistake.
Diva.
I made it.
There is no
That's not what
problem.
I said
Hold
at
on,
all.
Hakeem.
I said,
Diva, can I ask
if
you
it's the
something?
case.
Can I ask you something?
No, don't
What is
ask me
this
shit.
vitriol that you
Don't
have for
ask me
black
shit.
men?
No,
Wait,
don't ask me
wait,
What's the
hold
shit.
on,
vitriol that you have for black
wait.
We
men?
was cool
Let,
until you brought your non-hearing ass up here. It was
So
all
I'm really
cool.
trying not to go with the ad hominems on you, Diva.
Nigga, do whatever
Like,
you
I'm
want
really
to do.
trying
I
not to
really
do
have a
don't
that.
care.
Because you
conversation.
really, at this point, you showing your ignorance.
Okay, great. But you the one asking me for clarification.
I'm definitely
nigga.
asking. I'm
Right.
asking the
So
ignorant
don't ask
Diva
the ignorant
for
person for
the one with the
clarification.
the PhD. I'm asking
Okay.
for the college
And
educated
what my degree got to do with anything? You
be-
niggas are obsessed with my
no,
degree.
nobody's obsessed with it but you.
Okay, well then
You're the
don't
only
mention it
one
because
with
I
it in
didn't
your
either.
title, man.
I didn't mention
You're
it.
the only one with it in your title.
Right, because I'm the
Okay?
only one who fucking got
well,
one,
who
nigga.
cares? Like, other than you, right? So
I'm the
again,
only
because I
one
would
who
expect, and the
fucking got
only reason
one.
why I mentioned it, because I would expect you to have some sense of
Right, you
decorum,
don't have to
right?
expect
Some
shit, and I
sense of
would expect you to
decorum,
be able to hear
right?
it
To
if
be
we
able to
actually said it
explain,
several
like,
times.
no,
So
you
nigga, get the
misunderstood.
fuck
You
out of
heard
here.
me incorrect.
Hold
So let me
on. Let's calm.
explain to you what I said.
Hold on, guys. Let's calm down
All
a
that
minute.
tough talk, like, that's not cute.
Hold on. Let's
Like,
calm
what are you
down a
doing all
minute.
that
Hold on.
for?
Calm down a minute.
Nigga,
So
open your ears and stop putting words in my mouth.
Man,
That's
listen,
not
you
what I
really
said.
listen, Diva. I'm gonna tell you
calm
something.
down a
You
minute.
really don't want me to get you
I said,
calling you
yeah, I
names.
don't want to mute. I don't want to
Nigga,
mute
you can't
anybody.
I
call
would
me no
really
name.
relax on that. I would
Nigga, you
really
can't call me
relax on
shit.
that.
Mute them both.
I'm not
Just calm
relaxing
down a
on
minute.
nothing because there's nothing you
Yeah,
can
I'll
say to
go
me,
on
honey.
mute. I
There's
would really
nothing you can
relax
ever
on
Calm down a
say
minute.
to
that.
Hold
me,
on. Let me
honey.
address something real quick.
Because if
Before
you
y'all
want
go
to start
in,
calling names, we'll do that.
hold on. Before y'all go in, I just want to make sure because some people on Facebook say, "How can they come over here on the YouTube side?" We over here on the YouTube, KR Culture Radio. How can you drop the link on the Facebook on your Facebook page for people want
Y'all
to
be
join
on
in the
Facebook
conversation
too?
over here? Yeah, we on
You know
Facebook
what,
right now.
Hakeem, I saw you on Facebook. It was somebody roasting one of your videos.
Hakeem, cause he be pandering. So them dudes be going in on Hakeem. They don't like when you be talking about that because they know it's cat. But I'm just saying, but we on the Facebook side, so guys, Hakeem just drop the link in the chat so they come over here on your side because Precious Tamika want to join the conversation. Yeah, so we'll
all right.
yeah, Precious Tamika, welcome to the club. We're not being disrespectful. It's all love. Chicago Real and PhD will go at it all the time. We come from a different
No,
place.
I never say anything to anybody until they start with me.
So I just want to make sure that people that's on Facebook, they can come over here on YouTube so they can join in the conversation because some people want to be in the chat. So I'm just letting them know because they were like, how to comment. They want to be. I didn't want to get into the toxicity too. So go ahead.
It wasn't no toxicity. I literally said it several times.
I'm gonna tell you our next topic. We actually want to talk about black issues, so it's good that you and Chicago Rilla are here because we're gonna talk about Umar Johnson talking about the aspect of how black men need to seek help. Like black men are in pain. Go ahead, Jordan. Play that because I would ask you that what we was going.
Yeah, I can go ahead. It goes to the next topic. Yeah. So this was like over a month ago with Dr. Umar was with Nick Cannon on council culture and everything, and he's talking about how black men are in pain. Go ahead, I can play the video after that. We'll chop it up.
Black men, because we are the most oppressed, we're the most traumatized. But you know what else? Because of our definitions of masculinity, which says a man can't be vulnerable to get help, we're the least likely to go get some damn help. Fact. Black men are in pain, but we covered up with the exterior. But when we get behind the privacy of our door in our home, we let all that pain out on the only person who loves us unconditionally, and that's the woman. You see, I always tell people this. If you don't like you, why are you expecting him to like you? Why are you looking for a relationship if you ain't got one with yourself first? You don't like yourself. Why are you shopping
Say that
for?
again.
If you don't like yourself,
Right.
why would anybody else like you?
Hey,
You don't even like you, and I'm supposed to spend the rest of
somebody
my
else
life
to
with
like
you?
you.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Black men, because we are the most oppressed, we're the most traumatized. But you know what else? Because of our definitions of masculinity, which says a man can't be vulnerable to get help, we're the least likely to go get some damn help.
Fact.
Black men are in pain,
Yeah.
but we covered up with the exterior.
Yeah.
But when we get behind the privacy of our door,
See, PhD, with black men are in pain, so that's one of the reasons why they say we are attacking our women, because we are in pain.
What that got to do with like? So what? Go fix it. Like, you saying that like that makes it okay, or like that's a legitimate explanation or
It don't make it
excuse.
okay, but majority of us are dealing with internal issues.
Right. So get your issues handled before you start looking for a woman.
Well, we can't do that. You know that we can't do that.
You know, we got to get some loving in the
He said he
time
can't
while
do
we
it.
fixing ourselves.
Exactly. Remember don't they say love conquers all, including the
No.
pain?
Nah, that's not what
That's
we're here
cap.
for.
Listen,
That's not what we're here for. Get yourself some help and buy the loving while you fixing yourself.
you
right?
said buy the loving, but
Buy the loving while you
lot of
fixing yourself.
a lot of people can't afford loving.
Whoa, Precious.
Well, then you don't deserve no. Hey,
Well,
broke
I mean,
niggas don't deserve no. Hey,
but you know, a lot of people can't afford.
Wait, that's Precious Tamika in the
Tamika, welcome, Precious Tamika, my
Thank
Facebook
you.
friend.
Thank you. Thank you.
Queen,
Great
thank
to
you so
see
much for
you.
joining us.
Yeah.
Go ahead and
Yeah, y'all can
speak
time
with,
in now. Y'all can go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Precious
I just
Tamika.
want to express the fact that men with power, with money and power, put it that way, whether black or white. Okay. Wait a minute. Hold on. Men with power, whether black or white, they get away with a lot of things. And a lot of times women do not come forward because of things that can happen to them. People with money could pay for things to happen to people. Am I not telling the truth? Can I get some feedback on that?
No, you telling the truth.
No, you
going
telling
in.
the truth.
We
Nobody
quiet.
disagree.
We let you go in your bag. Go in your bag. Go in your bag. Go ahead.
I'm gonna go in my bag because I put a few comments ago on this post saying that I dated a famous football player and he threatened my life. And I could have ran social media and did this, that, and the third. But at that moment, my life was more important to me than anything else. I could have tried to expose him, whatever. But it wasn't about that. It was about I wanted to protect my life. You get what I'm saying?
No, definitely.
So
yeah, but
a lot of these women's wait until that door opens for them until someone kicked that door open for them to come forward and speak upon how they've been victimized or threatened or harmed by people with money.
But Precious Tamika, this is my thing. I understand because we had this conversation already. That I understand. Like Hakeem even broke it down. I think we had the lovely Sapphire Grace and also the lovely Mimi was on the panel as well. And pretty much it was breaking down how sometimes women wait because of the fear aspect of it. But y'all should know that number one, the court system support women. That's number one. And number two, and also the police department. So I'm like, okay, y'all can obviously press charges. And there's a lot of programs that keep a lot of women safe. Y'all should go ahead and
Let's
speak.
be real. Come on now. Let's be real. When you to a status of a person that's worth millions and billions of dollars, there's limited protection. You get what I'm saying? There's limited protection. I am a victim of a famous baseball player that made the cover of Sports Illustrated magazine.
Wow.
That I've never come forward and spoke upon what he's done to me, what the threats he made to me. And it ain't about no money. I'm on here talking as a victim from somebody with money and power. And no, ain't nobody paying for me to come out and say this, but I can understand and relate to why these women are afraid to report it when it is happening. I mean, do we forget about that one? It's been a couple of baseball, football players that had pregnant baby mamas killed and all type of stuff, and got away with it, and some got caught.
Correct.
You
That's a
get what I'm
fact. Yes.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't have the money nor the power to fight against the high-powered attorneys these athletes or people that's in the elite have. I come from a different background, and I believe that's why a lot of these men go for the city girl or the ghetto girl type chick, because they know that if shit hit the fan on them, they ain't got the money to fight against their attorneys. Who gonna cover their attorney's fees?
Good point. That's a good point. PhD, but your thoughts, PhD, because you're a woman on the panel.
I
So I know.
respect Miss Diva. Y'all been on here. Y'all been on here talking about this, that, and the other. I got credentials. I'll be more than happy to post my accolades and all my diplomas and
We love it.
degrees.
We love it.
That's a piece, like what Kanye West say. That shit is a piece of paper that you could wipe your ass with if you ain't using it. You just paid for that shit. But at the end of the day, I know I graduated summa cum laude. I did my very best when I was in school, and I still owe these people money. But at the end of the day, it don't mean
no, they paid
nothing
me.
when at the end of the day, let's be real. At the end of the day, let's be real. It don't mean nothing when you reach that hierarchy. We in a matrix system here. It's designed and set up for the elite, which is beyond where I am, to be honest, to even fight for ourselves and speak up for ourselves.
But the thing is, this is my only issue with that, because we live in a society where the court system favors the woman. That's why I always have an issue. This is my thing. I always have an issue when women say, I can't go out there, I can't fight back. When you have the court system, majority of the time favors the woman.
Not always.
Chicago Gorilla can agree. Hakeem can agree. Jordan can agree to that, because
Judges and half of the prosecutors and all that are paid for and bought by the same people that we talking about. Come on now. Don't play dumb. Please don't do that to us.
I would say this.
Don't dumb that down.
Go ahead.
I would say
don't do that.
I had a
because that just add more insult to injury. I literally was dating someone, long-term relationship with someone, and got impregnated and told them, and they threatened my life. I had a choice to either report it. I still, to this day, I don't delete any text messages or nothing.
I think we're losing her.
I have proof to this day that this incident happened. And I ain't went to Tasha K or on nobody's platform to get paid to expose this person.
Wow. So what I was gonna say,
can y'all hear me,
Ronnie,
or did I lose y'all?
No, you better now.
You better now.
All right, go
ahead, Chicago.
Go ahead, Riley. You got the floor. Go ahead.
So
hello.
I would say, yeah, I think she's in the Matrix.
Yeah,
she's delayed. She laid real bad. Go ahead.
Tamika, can you hear us?
No, drop her. I can't bring her back. I think she's delaying real bad.
Yeah, but go ahead. Riley.
I was just gonna say, just really quick, with the court systems, a lot of those laws are changing. Not necessarily to not favor victims and women and stuff like that, but a lot of those laws are changing. It's a slow grind, a slow process, but a lot of those laws are changing, where they're starting to consider other factors when considering.
Did I lose y'all? Because I was still talking.
Yeah, you lost. Yeah, I was gonna say, because you
I
delayed
was
real bad.
saying,
Hold on, Tamika,
that.
we're gonna let Real finish because he was talking. Then we did.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go
No,
ahead.
you
I don't
good.
want
You
to
good.
interrupt.
No, you good. I'm gonna make it short. The only other thing I was gonna say is this is where I agree with Jordan. If I heard him correct before I came in, Jordan was saying something to the effect about making this a man versus woman. How much time we spend on these men versus women issues. What we are seeing in real time, there definitely are men that are corrupt with power and influence and money, right? But what we're also starting to see real time is how women behave when they have, because Diva said we're equals, right? So we're also seeing the effects of women who have money, power, and influence. People are starting to experience some of the same deviant behavior that we attribute to alpha males or corrupt males. We're starting to experience that same thing. So I don't think it's gender specific. I think it's how people are socialized. I think people that have good morals, good character, and integrity, those people shine through. And people that are corrupt, they're just corrupt regardless of their gender specificity.
Absolutely. And I agree with you with that because this man happened to be a black man. However, it don't matter if he was a black man or a white man. At the end of the day, it's social economic status. That's what it boils down to. They're in a higher tax brackets to where they can hire. Look at Casey Anthony, for instance. She had all circumstantial evidence to prove that she knew something was going on with her child, but she got off because of the fact that she had a lawyer, a top-notch lawyer that came in and made a better argument to create reasonable doubt. However, common sense will tell us if you ain't
she keep delaying
30 days and all that, you knew. What parent would not report their child missing for 30 days and lie about where they work at? Just off of the circumstantial evidence alone, something more happened than what the public knows. Now that's hello? Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead. Finish your statement, then Stephanie could go right after you. But go ahead. Go ahead, President Tamika. Go ahead. She delaying? Can you hear us?
Yeah, I think she delayed.
Yeah, that was saying I can't drop her and bring her back. Because I think that's what.
Yeah. I don't know if she has an Apple phone. I don't know if she's on Google Chrome. Maybe she looked.
Trust me, I had a Wi-Fi issue. Like, you already know my situation. Go ahead, Stephanie.
Go ahead, Stephanie. Go ahead, man. Go ahead, Stephanie.
Comes back. Go ahead.
I can't do.
You say you can't do this. What you mean?
No, no, she has I think her Wi-Fi is messing up, so she might come back and everything.
Stephanie, Wi-Fi is messed up. I'm confused. Now that just lost me.
Because she's popping back on too, so I think she having problems too. So hopefully she'll come back up in there.
Chicago wanted to speak on the Umar clip.
Oh, okay.
Chicago, my bad. My apologies. It's just that Tamika was going in her bag.
You Gucci. No. I had spoke specifically to her, but if y'all wanted to go to Diva because she's been quiet for a minute, I don't know if she.
Yeah, Diva.
Don't worry about Diva. Diva's all right, man.
Oh Lord.
Pretty Red. Pretty Red. You got something? Pretty Red. You got something to say?
This Precious Tamika back on here. Can y'all hear me?
I hear you, Precious Tamika.
You know what? Stop. Please do not call me that.
And listen, in my mind, I just think you a red, because you speak with so much vitriol, you gotta be light skinned.
What? Oh, here we go with the light
back, Diva. Fight back, Diva.
Listen,
don't let him get away with that, Diva. He's trying to diminish your character. He's trying to assassinate your character.
Listen, Chicago. She's from the block, so I got nothing but love for her. I'm like red. Like when I think I said this, she gotta be red from down south.
Hey, no way, pretty red. I will call her Pretty Red. You see how you mentioned?
Yeah, you see,
I'm like,
Diva said she's not from Liberty City.
No, she from down south.
She from down south. She from upstate. She from way down south.
If this was back in the days, I would have.
No,
way down south.
Way down
back in the days,
Miami.
I would have
taken. Must be Miami talk.
Diva, I would have took you to Sunset Place. You know where that's at?
That's called down south.
Sunset Place. I would have taken you to Sunset Place. Red.
Way drive. That's like an hour away drive to Chicago.
Sir, absolutely not. I'm the same distance from you.
Listen, I'm ready to be solution based now. After hearing you speak,
You know what?
But do y'all understand I know I got cut off. I'm going back.
Yo,
What
yo,
y'all talking
we
about?
no
Yeah,
we
wow,
understand.
because I'm standing on this.
No, I
It's
like
such
that. But Precious Tamika Queen, Chicago wanted to talk about black men healing on that Umar clip. I want to hear. I want
Did
all
we
of
say
us
that
to
on my
hear.
clip?
Oh, so we on another topic.
Yes.
Yes,
But
we on
you
another.
close us out. You close us out on the previous topic. We really do greatly appreciate it because one thing about Taylor, we're gonna let you speak your pain, and
Yeah.
because a lot of women can relate. We got a lot of women listeners that actually do listen to the show. Like my family members listening, Hakeem family members listening,
Yep.
Jordan family members listening, who are women. So it's good for women to come on the panel and talk about, hey, you dealt with a situation, a DV situation, a domestic violence case, and how you pretty much were traumatized. And I think more women need to speak out about it. Don't wait to Cassidy and P. Diddy situation. Speak out more about it, and don't try to press charges and go for money. That's the thing about these cases. A lot of women go to the courts to get money. They don't try to get these men prosecuted. That's the issue. What I'm having with.
I want to say this, Ronnie, you have a point, but the thing is, it's just find a safe place. As Precious Tamika was saying, there's even though her situation, her money, there wasn't no safe space that she can go to. So I don't think there's a lot of space for women who could talk like this as we are at Cancel Culture Radio. We're only just one of one. I don't know of any other channels that we know of that women can speak about their pain.
No.
They got Derek They got Derek Jackson.
I say,
you know what?
But I disagree though. I say get your money. Go ahead, Diva. My bad.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, get your money. Yeah.
No.
I'm gonna tell you
Governor
why.
Ron, the thing is, so first off, there's a fairly short statute of limitations in most places, right? So in California, the statute of limitations for assault is like 3 years. And so it's easy to like Jordan was saying, by the time a woman gets to where she's safe and could actually report these things, that time might have elapsed. The other thing is that in a criminal court, there are different standards than in a civil court, right? So in a criminal court, the threshold is beyond a reasonable doubt. So whereas in a civil court is the preponderance of the evidence, right? So then they're talking about more likely than not. So if I believe 51% versus 49% that you did it, then you win in a civil case, right? The threshold, the bar is much higher for a criminal case. The other thing is everything that's admissible in a civil case isn't admissible in a criminal case, right? So even if she had that video, the judge might say, and she was trying to, have him prosecuted, the judge might say, no, we can't show that. That's too prejudicial against the defendant, right? So defendants have rights too. And so it's much harder to make a criminal case against someone than it is to make a civil case. And it's easier to control the court of public opinion, which is very important for people, high profile people like that. It's easier to control that in a civil case than a criminal case, because some of that stuff isn't going to be available to the public in many instances, right? So there are a lot of different reasons why a woman would lodge a civil case rather than
But
a
a quick question I want to ask
case.
you, Jonathan Major, was that a civil or criminal case?
No, that was a criminal case. I think he had to do like some community service
criminal.
or something.
Did she pursue it? Did New York pick that up? Did New York pick that up? Yeah, they picked it up.
New York picked it up.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's different for different states. That's why.
Okay,
Oh,
absolutely, yeah. But the reason why I was also gonna say, because I agree with what Diva is saying, but the thing I said the other day when this situation came up and people were, I think I was on Sweet Melody channel and they was talking about the Cassie and Diddy situation. We don't get to determine what justice looks like for the person that's actually victimized, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So we already know the statute of limitations was running out, had run out, I think, criminally. And even with her filing the lawsuit, she was on the last day for that.
Yeah.
So that doesn't give me like gold digger money chasing. But for whatever reason she filed, I'm not here to examine why she filed. I'm just saying if that's the route that people take to get what is justice for them, If they want to pursue the situation civilly, then I say pursue it civilly. If there was a opportunity to pursue it criminally, I mean, maybe she consulted with lawyers and they told her she didn't have a case. I don't know. Maybe the DA told her she didn't have a case. I would imagine that would be the case, and that's also why prosecutors tend to, like the state tends to pick those charges up, because they know, the victims will waffle. You know what I'm saying? So if they have sufficient evidence, the state will pick it up and prosecute themselves. But I'm not mad at them, because I know people are like, oh, it's a money grab. She a gold digging heifer. Why she ain't do all this before? I ain't here for all that. Whatever that justice looks like for her, and I'm not saying it's right, wrong, and different. I'm just saying whatever that looked like for her, handle your business.
Right. And the other thing is the penalty. Let's say if he was prosecuted and convicted, the sentencing for those type of cases, so for like an assault case or something like that, typically are very it's a slap on the wrist, right? Especially like first offense. So okay, so if she went through all of that and all he got was 2 years of probation and he had to complete anger management, don't you think it's a better outcome for her to get $30 million than
No,
that?
I agree. Yeah.
That civil, what is that called? Punitive damages. That sends a message that reverberates when you see cats coming out of pocket.
Yeah.
And it's funny because me and my wife was just talking about it, right? And I was like, when you talk about a person's net worth, because the rumor is Diddy's worth $1 billion, he's a billionaire, so on and so forth. Hey, that net worth is paper money.
Yeah,
that's what you worth on paper. Now listen, peep where they started to hit him at. Like, first of all, he lost to Diageo. He lost that, right? Okay, so Ciroc is gone. Yep. Who knows what De Leon is doing? Because us and tequila, we switch our preference every week. 1 week is Patron, another week is Casamigos, and then there's all types of other competitors entering the market. So then he lost that. I just saw something today where Macy's dropped Sean John.
Yeah. I wanted to point something out.
He lost 18 brand deals. 18 companies have dropped.
He was an ambassador. He didn't own some of those.
Oh yeah, no, and that's another thing too, right? Playing the net worth and perception, right?
Yep.
This perception of power, right? Especially with Ciroc, you find out, oh, he wasn't the owner. Ciroc had been out decades before he came along, right? So when you do the knowledge on the Diageo family or Diageo brands or whatever, they have been in existence. And to your point, same with Jay-Z and Brooklyn Nets. You're an ambassador. We just put a different title on it to put it out in front, and you could look like the owner, but the multi-billionaire behind the scenes is really the one that's clocking dough, right? So, what you start to see, even in situations like Trump, when you gotta pay a bond and you don't have that type of cash on hand readily available, you start to see what that billionaire status is really about. It's paper. It's paper money. So I think the $30 million that he has to pay or has paid or whatever that may look like, I think it sends a message that reverberates to the rest of the cast that's in that position. You know what I'm saying? But if I could just pivot back to the Umar piece, just really quick. Okay, because this is my only day off, and I'm doing housework today, y'all. I'm trying to get set for the summer, man. I gotta put furniture together, get these doggone blinds up in the house. The Umar, so I'm not the biggest fan of Umar. I'm big on mental health. I don't like when people use that as a like a talking point to garner sympathy towards their causes. And I don't think that's what he was doing per se. I'm just saying that from the outset. I do think that traditionally it has not been cool for Black men to be vulnerable. I don't know that we can continue to hold that as an excuse for why men don't get the help that they need when they know that they need it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? However, you got to get there. We had a whole album. We just seen this battle going with Kendrick Lamar and Drake. Kendrick had an entire album that if you sit and listen to it, it's literally like you sitting in on somebody's therapy session. Joe Budden has an entire music catalog. That mood music, that's therapy, right? All that stuff is like therapy, right? Mm-hmm. And so men have the outlets. We can't continue to use we're the most oppressed. I mean, I agree that systemic racism still exists. Oppression is still there. right? But regardless of what, you still have to gather yourself, comport yourself, and get out here and do battle in the real world. So whatever that help looks like for you to get it, man, go out, go get it. It's plenty of jobs out here that are like my job, right? Offers us free 20 free sessions with a therapist each year. And not just for you, your entire household. Under your roof, everybody gets 20 free sessions a year, right?
Good.
There's other companies that offer something similar, and you can go through a lot of people don't look at their insurance plans either to see what's available to them. But my point being is, however you got to get the help, you can't just keep stuff bottled up, because that also creates disease, like physically, that it impacts your body to carry around so much burden and weight. You understand what I'm saying? So with that said, I understand what Dr. Umar is saying, but I just my only point of contention with that is I don't know that we can continue to use the excuse around slavery, systemic racism, oppression, societal pressures to absolve us of our responsibility to get the help that we need to be fully functioning humans in this society. That's my only point of contention.
And I want to say this, Chicago. I feel like we don't, as black men, when it comes to health, we're not, we don't pay attention. When we go to if you go to work in companies, if you go to the break room, I guarantee you they have plenty of information around the walls, but a lot of people don't be looking at the walls.
That's a fact. Yeah.
The jobs they're trying to help you, they'll talk about health insurance. They talk about, they're partnering with a credit union. If you want to buy a house, you want to buy a car. If you want, like I say, health insurance with benefits and everything, and the thing is, like my job, where I do overnight, it's like if anything emergencies come in with health and everything, they'll tell you what exact location, what the hospital you go, what's the quickest hospital.
Where is this?
And also the thing with mental health and everything, a lot of these companies in the break room will talk about, if you join into this, if you got medical insurance and everything. Mental health is the big thing to have in the back room, in the break room and everything. So I feel like as black men, we're not really self-aware, and we need to be more self-aware and also pay attention when somebody try to get us help. Not just people in our family, but also work. They will help you out as well. That's why they have so many information in the break room to help you out. Period.
But shout out to Top Cat. Shout out to Nightish. Nightish, great to see you back,
my top
brother.
Shotter.
Nightish is back in the building. Great to see him, because I know they say his channel was down for a minute, so it's good to see him back. They're back up and running again. I'm happy to see that. But but the thing with Umar, okay, here's the thing. Because it's easy to say that, like she said, black men are afflicted mentally. You know what I'm saying? So when she said, I do agree with her. Black Chicago, you can't say that. A lot of black men dealing with a lot of pain out here, my brother. Pain. The pain.
Yeah, I agree. I do agree with that.
Not able to get the bag, and not that, but you also got black men now promoting black men to not go to therapy. And
now
Chicago,
who's
really,
doing that?
I don't want to give out the name.
Oh, okay. No.
Chicago, no, he
going on mute.
He wanted me to say it. I was like, I can't give out the name.
Yeah.
That's why he laughing.
No. That name was about to come out.
I was about to
pop out.
No, Governor, I'm not saying, I agree with you. I'm not saying that we as men aren't afflicted. You know me, I advocate for us to go get the help we need. My question is to you, does that absolve us? Yes, we are. Man, his brothers out here hurting. I know. Yeah, that's why I'm such an advocate for them to go get the help, right? So my point is, does that absolve you of your responsibility to get the healing and help that you need?
No, I think no, I don't absolve. Yeah, because I think, man, we got to take the responsibility on ourselves to get better. But then some men use their healing for, like Umar said, was the truth. They go get a black woman, like a woman like PhD Diva, and expect her to heal me. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's supposed to heal me, or Stephanie Wong, she's supposed to heal my pain. I'm not supposed to be able to sit in someone's couch and express my emotion. No.
Yeah, I agree with you, brother. I think if you're looking for help in a woman, healing in a woman, and let me say it this way, especially when you're not on a healing journey yourself, yeah, that's bad, man, because you you end up bleeding on people that didn't cut you. You understand what I'm saying? You
Mm.
do more damage to that woman, putting her in a situation that she may not be qualified to deal with. Not to mention, she has her own stuff to deal with, right?
Mm.
So I'm very mindful of what I put at the feet of my wife, you know, when I have those conversations with her. I couldn't imagine being in this relationship with her, in this covenant agreement with her, and all I do is pour out on her what I'm dealing with and what's going on with me, and never taking into consideration the impact that may have on her, right? So I think it's important. I don't know who said it earlier. It may have been Diva who said it earlier. You know, we may not like the way that Diva says things all the time, but that part I do agree with it, that, you know, men should be in a healthy state. Yeah, y'all was talking about that earlier. Men should be in a state at least as close to wholeness as possible before you go seeking out pair bonding with somebody. You understand what I'm saying? If Jordan wasn't to a space of being healthy and sound in his mind and in his actions, I couldn't imagine him, or what would life be like for him with his wife and his newborn seed. You understand what I'm saying? You wind up bringing more chaos and anarchy into the home, right? And so I agree with Dr. Umar. I just think sometimes, Governor, we spend a lot more time identifying the problem, which I think we all agree. We know what the problem is. We know the root cause of it. We know what's happening. We know the symptoms of it, all those things. And we don't spend enough time dealing with possible solutions. And one of the first things is admitting that, hey, I'm effed up. Something wrong with me. Something's not functioning right. Right. And then again, you got to begin to seek out the help. And people always be like, well, I don't know where to go. Fam, I'm an autodidactic, man. You start at start. You like, I don't know how this, I know it's going to sound cold when I say this, but figure it out. You can figure out everything else. You know how to Google everything else. If you don't know how to change oil on your car, you can't go to a Jiffy Lube or whatever. You know how to Google a video that's going to help you work through that, fam.
Preach.
We
Boy,
have some level of ingenuity about ourselves, some innovation about ourselves. When we want to get something, we prioritize what's important. So when we want to get something done, we get it done, bro. I didn't arrive to this place around therapy because I had all the answers before I went and saw a therapist. You understand what I'm saying? I saw a therapist well before 2020 when the pandemic hit. I've always found value in therapy, but I didn't find I wasn't as loud about it outside of my inner circle, because you're right, it wasn't accepted for a very, very long time. Now we're dealing with the ramifications of a generation of men who did not know how to properly channel their energy and engage properly with their families. So now what do you have with these young bloods? I'm not doing it the way he did it. I'm not doing it the way I saw my daddy do it. My daddy did this to my mom. I ain't talking to my woman like that. Now you get some brothers that replicate that behavior, and that does happen. I don't want to dismiss that. That does happen, but there are a lot of brothers I know that's like, man, the way I was raised, I'm not doing my kids that way. I'm not going that route. So my point to the brothers is, you know, here's what I find, Governor and family. What I find is when we want to get something, like I'll put you like this: niggas ain't know how to go to a studio. Niggas ain't know what a stem was. They showed enough with Fruity Loops popped up. Everybody became a producer then. You know what I'm saying? You ain't know how to go to a studio, record a record and track it and all this other stuff. But because that's something you enjoy and you think it's money and profitable, you found out how to do that. Now everybody and their mama know how to do it, right? So again, if you want to get healing, if you want to present yourself as whole, if you want to show up as the best version of yourself, really and truly, number one, go get sober. You know what I'm saying? Get off the drugs, the alcohol, and the weed. You know what I'm saying? And go seek the professional help that you need, because really a lot of times it's not about you sitting on some couch and somebody analyzing you. A lot of times they listening to you and then they're giving you tools. They're identifying what the issue is, and then they give you tools that you can employ in your everyday to help you walk through this life a better person. And I'm on
Chicago drop my, you preaching to the choir.
But I want to
say a lot of people right now.
I want to say this: I'm a big advocate. If we need to go to a bar, one of my closest boys, we have problems, we can talk about it and take the necessary steps to help the person and everything, because I feel like a lot of men don't go out with each other, not just bars, to go out anybody trying to talk about the problems they're going in their life, or the problems they're going out with work and everything. So I just feel like, men need to talk more, or going out to talk about the problems and find the best solution so we can help that person out.
Yes, sir. I agree.
Yo, Chicago, I wanted to piggyback and say, I'm going to agree with him 100%. I don't think there's no excuse for a man to get help. I think the information is readily out. We've seen so much damage throughout the years where we know this. And then at times you get signs throughout your life. And even for me, after the 6th relationship, I messed up, and everybody in that point was telling me, oh, I need to go get therapy. Sometimes a person tell you to go get therapy, you just ignore it. But you think, I'm going to self-medicate on the next woman I get with, on the next woman I get with, on the next woman I get with, on the next person I get with. So people are letting you know, but the point is, are you accepting and realizing it? So in 2024, since there have been campaigns that have been going on since as long as I know, and you had Charlemagne the God, who publicly was going around telling black men to get therapy, I say it ain't no excuse. You're going to hear it. It's just, are you willing to accept it and take the leap to go do
it? No, that's facts. That's what I'm saying.
Hey, Ron, real quick, and then I'm gonna drop down. I just want to
drop down. We want you here.
You gonna get me in trouble.
He said, I got work to do, but go ahead.
Yeah, no. Just piggybacking off of what Prince Hakeem was saying, right? I've told this story before, but when I moved from Atlanta to Detroit, I was with a young lady, and we were supposed to do life together, right? And it just went really, really bad. It just went really, really bad. And so that situation didn't work out. And the inclination for me, because I was depressed, I knew I was depressed, but I was at the point where I was self-aware enough. Now I'm starting to realize the 5 stages of grief. I think it's five stages of grief, right? And so anyway, the inclination or the impulse for me, Prince Hakeem, was to go and slut it out. And I'm telling you, it's funny because getting out of that relationship, it was like females lined up, right? And I could have knocked them down. And man, I was so proud of me, man. This was my big boy moment where I was like, hey, listen, I'm not in a good space right now. We could kick it, we could be cool. I enjoy your company, I love your energy, but I am not in a good space to get into a long-term relationship with you. And because I knew if I did, I would have did them so dirty. I would have slutted them out. I would have have. Like, yeah. I told you when I went to Atlanta, I was a slut monkey. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, you did.
So that's in me, not on me. You did what I'm saying? But
I like that. I like that one.
But I had to be responsible in that moment and not do that to those young ladies because they didn't deserve that. You understand what I'm saying? They was looking for something that I couldn't provide in the moment, and that was on me to let them know, like, hey, I can't do that for you right now. And let me just say this real quick, and I'm gonna go back on mute. There's a book that I just picked it up recently. I'm about to start it as soon as I get off this other book. It's called if brothers want a starting point and they feel like they can't, they don't know where. There's a book called Self-Care for Black Men, 100 Ways to Heal and Liberate. Self-Care for Black Men, 100 Ways to Heal and Liberate. I think there's a journal that goes with it, but I just got the book so I can read the book.
Yeah, now that, but shout out to Jalen and Chicago Real. Make sure you put your chat. Make sure you put your channel in the chat because sometimes you go live and I'll be catching you. You be talking about entertainment. I know you be like, man, people be over there. You be having good, dope conversations. So make sure you put
I appreciate you, Governor.
In the chat because I ain't forget about you. I'm everywhere.
That's it.
Jordan's got the
That's it, Jordan. Yeah, that's it.
Yep, we're gonna start this Black Book Club.
We are.
Yeah, it's time, bro.
We're gonna start this.
I got a book coming out too, man. Just so y'all know, I got a book coming out too.
Hey,
we will support you.
We're gonna support you too.
Here.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
it's not a tell-all book, but it's definitely gonna be on the bestseller list.
Trust me, I will buy me. I support Black.
We ready to buy it now?
I buy books all the time. So I
It
will support
definitely
you.
will
Rilla,
be out.
Rilla.
But I thank y'all for
Yes,
this
Diva.
platform. I thank y'all for letting people come in and have a meeting of the minds and just
Any
communicate in a respectful
No,
manner.
thank you, Precious Tamika. Thank
anything
you
for
for
you,
being here.
Queen.
Yeah, you can always come on the panel like always. You know, we have
Anything for
PhD
you.
here. You know, I wanted her banned a long
Anything
time
for
ago.
solution base.
You know what?
If you
No,
ain't a
but
part of the, if you not a
Sean
part
Bryce,
of the
he's lucky,
solution,
man.
you're a part of the problem.
Thank you. You better let him know,
thank
Tamika.
you, bro.
You better
That's
let him
right.
know.
Hakeem think he's slick, man.
Yeah, he think he's
Thank
slick,
you.
but if
Yeah.
you're not a part of the solution, you're a part of the
What are the
problem.
problem? Let him know.
Hakeem.
You
Got
try
it,
to get
Diva. You heard
you
what
try to
she
get
said?
us.
PhD,
Sharon, that's Hakeem. That's not me. Sharon, that's
PhD.
Hakeem. That's me.
And
Listen,
You
he
that's
gotta
a,
get.
exactly why I said Hakeem.
yeah, he's a lucky man.
Hey, no, but go ahead, PhD. You was gonna say something. Go ahead,
Go
PhD.
ahead,
We're
Queen.
going to our final topic.
Oh no. I was just asking Rilla. You said he be going live. Rilla, why you ain't never invited me over to your live?
Man, no, Diva. First of
Ooh.
all, I
Uh-huh.
refuse. No, Diva. No, I invite all y'all.
Yeah.
If I could get straight, if I felt like doing them regularly and
Yeah.
getting StreamYard and all that other stuff, it's literally like spur of the moment, Diva. Like when y'all had that conversation around Kendrick Lamar and the him bringing up Drake, I decided to go live and do something. But it'd be like late at night. Governor Brian tripping, man. I'm not committed to it like that, man. I'm really not. So whatever
Oh,
y'all's
hey,
cash app
hey, no,
is,
hold on, Chicago. How I'm tripping when
drop
you be on
chaos.
IG. How you know I'm tripping when you be on IG going deep,
Yeah, I
having
definitely
deep
be on.
conversation.
I
Thank
definitely be on
you,
IG. Yeah.
thank you. So I'm tripping.
Hey, somebody dropped the cash app for Chaos Culture Radio. That's the only thing I'm promoting is the cash app for Chaos Culture Radio. That's it.
Okay, drop the cash app. Drop the cash app.
Oh, I gotta
I need
look for
some.
the link.
I need some lunch money.
We all gotta either make a cash app or we better sue somebody with some money from what I got.
So PhD, you hit. I got
Hey,
my
shout out to
lawsuit
Lord
coming.
Spike too. Hey Diva, I promise you, if I decide to take it serious and stay consistent with it, because I'm not doing D&P conversations on my channel. We haven't like
I'm tired, bro. I'm tired of those conversations,
yeah,
bro.
I'm not doing D&P conversations. It's more or less like either music or community or stuff that's going on specifically in Chicago. So that's all I'm doing over there.
Oh no, but I don't know you heard. I don't know you heard of Chicago really because somebody sent me a video. We didn't talk about it, but I want to talk about it real quick. Cause somebody sent us it wasn't a clip, but it was a news article about a young boy in Chicago who recently went to on YouTube, I think Instagram Live, and accidentally shot himself. I don't know if you saw that.
I saw if that's the same thing that Ella was talking about. Again, our young men. So when you talk about the pain and trauma of black men, and these are grown men, just think about our boys again who are reading at a 4th grade level.
Thanks, PhD. Bro.
You understand what I'm saying? Oh, what she said that too? Hey
Yeah, she
man,
did all the time.
listen, man. Yeah, no, and listen. Again, we may not like the way I know. Listen, I know I don't always like the things, not the things that she say, the way that she says it, right? But I won't shout you down when you preaching good. That's the truth. And when we talk about 4th grade, we talking about boys who are in high school.
Yep.
How do you matriculate all the way through 8th grade and enter high school reading at a 4th grade level? You know what I'm saying? Our priorities are jacked up. Man, these kids are out here suffering. Yeah, man. Let me go on mute because that right there that gets me down.
But it hurts because when this special someone, you know who you are, sent it to me. I was excited because I was like, wow, this is deep. We have young black men that going on Instagram Live, trying to go viral, and accidentally shot yourself.
Yeah.
Rilla,
That's sad.
I'm sorry.
Go
Rilla, there's a
ahead,
book
PhD.
you might be interested in by Dr. Amos Wilson called
I'm familiar with him. Go ahead.
Yeah, he wrote a lot of great books. But there's one on black adolescent male violence and basically how they develop their masculinity. But it's called Understanding Black Adolescent Male Violence.
So PhD, how do we develop our masculinity? Real quick before we go into the final topic.
Well, so he was talking about how because
male violence. I'm on mute. My bad.
Let the lady speak, please.
Yes.
Because of many of the things that go on in this society with regard to young Black males, so discrimination, etc., that many end up developing what he terms reactionary masculinity. And so some of the characteristics of it are that they feel that everything is like an affront to their masculinity. And so they don't like to, concede anything. And so they'll, resort to violence very quickly. Their interactions with women and basically using women as sexual objects, or they view them as property, that type of thing. So it's like several, too many for me to list or even remember. Different characteristics of that reactionary masculinity that he talks about. And he also talks about how to remediate it and prevent it.
I actually listened to some of his lecture. I never read his book, but I listened to some of his lecture when I was really yeah. PhD, I'm very well rounded. I'm a real
that's awesome. No, because I listen to him his lectures are on YouTube as well. And so
Me too.
That's why
I love Amos Wilson.
Hakeem put me on a lot of people. He put me on Michael Mann.
I'm a big yeah. I love him.
Wilson. I would say Hakeem's very informed. Like he be capping online. That's why I be getting on his behind.
And I'm from the city, baby. I'm from the most degraded place you talk about. I'm from the city.
That man Hakeem be reading. Hakeem reads a lot of books. But go ahead, Jordan. Final topic of the day, and thank you guys so much for being on the panel. Thank you guys also in the chat. Jalen's also in the building. Shout out to you, Jalen, and also
shout out to Houston's finest.
The one is here. When I saw her in the building, I'm like, yo, we made it big.
Hey, how much is it to ban Donut Head from the chat? For a month. Jalen, how much is it to ban Jalen? I saw what you put in the chat, Jalen.
You can ban him for $1.
You think I ain't finna get up with your glamour putting that nonsense? You think I ain't finna get up with your glamour?
Yeah, shout out to Jalen for being here. That was we over here on Chaos. The women are safe, so don't worry about it. You safe, but you can still get banned though. Talk to me in the back. Oh, Chicago, I got you. Wink. No, but anyhow, Jordan, go ahead. The final topic before we head up on out of here. Go right ahead, sir.
All right, one final topic. This kind of went viral. So a 63-year-old pastor, his name is Dwight Weed, and he is defending his marriage to his 19-year-old wife. Oh my God. Hakeem, play this clip, man. Enough said. Play the clip, man. This is disgusting.
And I wish some of y'all would mess with my wife, Jordan. Talking about what you gonna do if you see her. Well, you will see me on the news. Let me just tell you that right now. Talking about what you gonna do if you see her. You better walk by and say, praise the Lord. That's what you better do. Because that's my wife. And she grown. She didn't need nobody to sign no paperwork for her. Now, if this was out in the streets, y'all be saying she made a come up. But you a hypocrite. So don't you forget the Bible say marriage is honorable. And the Bible said when you find the wife, honey, you find favor with God, honey. I found some favor with God. And we sleeping good at night. And I wish some of y'all would mess with my wife, Jordan.
No. Freaky ass nigga here, 69 God. No.
That's grooming at his finest.
And let me tell you something. The worst, I'm sorry, I just got to jump in on this, man, because I was brooding listening to this. This is the worst kind of preacher. using scripture to manipulate the congregation to make them think just because you say a scripture and you do it from the pulpit that you're right. You're wrong. You loud and wrong. Cause she your first lady. That's crazy. That's a baby. Still. That's a baby. He's never talking about my wife and I went now. People that saying they're gonna do something and all that other stuff. Now that part is crazy. I understand that part. But for him to sit up here and say, and that's my wife, and then he that finds a wife finds a good. Well, we don't know if she's a wife. You don't know if she's a wife. The idea is that she's a wife when you find her, and the institution of marriage is the good thing. I hate this when people get in the pulpit and purposely mislead their congregation that you have a charge over. That's your flock that you have a charge over. And you purposely misleading them with these scriptures to justify your freakiness. That's wild to me. That's crazy. And you wonder why so many people, why so many black men in particular have left the church and not coming back to that type of foolishness. That looks like a PDF file justifying his degenerate behavior. That's crazy to me, man. Man, I'm so pissed off. I'm going on mute, fam.
No, but yeah, when I saw it and it went viral, I couldn't believe it either. But it's just this is what's happening in today's society. And I think the problem is, Chicago Real, I know you might say it's wrong, but I think the black brother should never let the church, my brother. I think we should hold those men accountable.
But Precious Tamika was talking about this earlier about powerful men. He's a
but you in the
powerful
church, my dude. Majority of these guys are not powerful. Well,
the church. Yeah, that's the pastor. He's the most powerful man in the black community. Stop me when
Is
I'm
that
wrong.
like a mega church or what? He got
No,
it's a cornerstone.
It's a cornerstone. It's not no big church. She listen. I read in the comments. He married her when she was 19, and he was her mentor. That's what it said in the comments. And she's 21 now.
PhD would tell Sharon about that. I don't have his phone number. I was gonna send him the topic too as well, because I know he likes topics like these. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, but it's serious. I'm saying these are what's going on in the black community, and we're not having a conversation, and that's why it's continuing to happen. But I think black men leaving the church, I don't think we should have left the church, my dude. I think we should have just we gotta stay in there. We gotta stay in there.
So I'm a disagree with that slightly, because the church puts, listen, the black church in particular puts position, building, and titles before relationship with God. Not all, but a lot of them do, bro. A lot of them do. And you have these men who are in positions of authority and leadership and power and influence, and just like we saw there, all that swaying and tap dancing and the orchestra going to sway the emotions of the people. And yes, and you better tell it, and my Lord. Man, we didn't watch. Listen, I don't know about y'all, but I ain't gonna lie. When I went to church with my grandma on Sundays and we went to Third Baptist, my grandma shouted Reverend Fowler down from the rafters. She shouted, yes! And before we could pull out the parking lot on Ashland, she cussing that heifer out for cutting her off. I'm talking about all types of creative cuss words, right? So we've been seeing the hypocrisy of the church. And this is the one thing that I do agree with Kevin Samuels on when he talked about this, is that black men for the most part, well, men, not black men specific, but men for the most part are cost benefit. You know, you do cost benefit analysis. When you weigh the pros and cons of going to a black church, where number one, you you don't always have transparency with the leadership. You don't always have transparency with the money. You know that there's a ton of money there. Where's that going? And then when you start to listen, the Bible talks about study. I think in 1 Timothy talks about study to show thyself approved, a workman who needs not be ashamed, right? When you start doing the knowledge for yourself and peeling back the layers of the scripture, and you get yourself a Bible concordance, you get a dictionary, a thesaurus, and if you really get funky with it, get the Apocrypha and all this other stuff, and you start peeling back those layers and get you like a Hebrew and a Greek dictionary, all these things, you start peeling back the layers a lot of what be coming out that pulpit is interpretation. So people who are analyzing what's coming out the pulpit versus what the text is saying, it's not adding up. And that's why men are leaving. And that's why I don't agree. I think the message should be relationship over religion. I value my relationship with God more than I value a building, a person, or a title.
Man, preach. I ain't gonna lie. Really, you on fire. No, I don't know.
Ryan, I'm you know, again, it's crazy because I'll get on y'all's platform, disputers, and go on my platform and be, you know, I won't bust a grape with a sledgehammer, right? I just think we as a people, man, like, man, we just so easily swayed and moved just by anything, and we don't stay focused and pay attention long enough, right, to really decipher what's happening right in front of our eyes, man. Black men leaving the church is not a good thing. That should have been a wake-up call to the church that, hey, we need to do something. Where are our men? We need to do something about
They don't
that.
care how long you have women. If you have women there giving
Correct.
a donation,
Correct.
you have women that's supporting them. You know, man, we love women. So if
Yeah,
you got a
yeah,
lot
but
of
if you,
women, so
but governor, if you're supposed to be a man of God standing on scripture, you're supposed to care about the least of these, right? So if the men have left, I want to know, where did Brother John go? Where's Deacon Amos at? Why are they not in? You know what I'm saying? I want to know these things. But again, we'll pay attention to your point, where the donations are coming. We'll cater. That's a lot of these services are catering to that. A lot of these, especially these new age preachers that want to spit and wipe it on their brother's face to reenact what they think happened with Jesus, and when he spit in the mud and all this other stuff and wiped it. I mean, hocked up a spit and wiped it on that man's face. The foolishness, the theatrics of it. Is some of these churches you go, it's like going to a Broadway play.
Yep.
Why am I doing that? Sit me in a church where you got to have a desk, like a desk, and I need pen and paper to take notes. Put me in one of them churches. I need to break that down, because when I leave that sanctuary, I need something that's gonna get me through my day to day. I need something that's gonna get me through 365. I need something that's gonna teach me how to go before the throne for myself. I shouldn't feel the presence of God when I just come in that sanctuary. I should feel that presence of God when I lay down, when I wake up. God dog it, if I'm taking a shower like PhD the first thing in the morning. I need to feel the presence of God. I don't need to wait till Sunday to get in the sanctuary, right? So that's what's missing.
You going in here, boy.
But you understand what I'm saying, Governor? That's what's missing.
But Rilla, I mean, can you talk a little bit about the history of Black preachers? Because there was a time in this country where Black people couldn't be preachers, and then when they started allowing them to be preachers, they had to, preach very specific things. So
that's similar to what they tried to do. What's the movie that Nate Parker made with Nat Turner, right?
Mm-hmm.
They wanted him to preach a specific message, and again, he read the word for himself. But there also was a time, Diva, during the civil rights movement, where the church that was our gathering place.
Right.
That's where we told it like it TI is.
And let's not leave out Malcolm X when he realized what he really was being taught, and then he switched over and got assassinated.
Absolutely.
Let's not leave that out either.
But my reference point with the church is because the funding that we see for the civil rights movement, and now I'm not skipping over your point, so you're exactly right. Malcolm X and the Nation of Islam, and how he converted when he went on this pilgrimage to Mecca, and he started to see people that would be considered white in America were Muslims too, and then he began to understand that it was something different than what was being preached in America. But my point around the churches was, there was a time where our best and bright, like, we celebrated, we supported it. That all came from the church. The village was there. That's one of the reasons why kids couldn't get away with anything, because Sister Betty saw you carrying on and whoop, whoop, whoop. Yeah, you getting towed up about 3-4 times. Sister Betty, Brother John, then your parents, right? The village was there. When I think, I don't know what the agenda is, PhD. I would assume that it's money, because it really, to me, it got really bad. I would say late 70s, early 80s, definitely by the time 90s, that's when it gets really bad for me. But I'm still fairly young to it, and I'm not as researched on the preachers, as you may be able to expound a little bit more, but I just know that during the 60s, that the church was our meeting place, and it was the one place for a time that that white people did not go to bother us, so we could talk how we wanted to talk. That's when you had the preachers telling it like it is out the pulpit, and that's when you had the where you could have those meetings to formulate a plan around the strategy for the civil rights movement. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And now it's like a dance off. It's like who could catch the Holy Ghost the most. You know what I'm saying? Who could put on the biggest Easter production every Sunday? Easter production every Sunday?
Oh no, but they one thing that I heard someone say that because the government got involved, and also with the taxes, they're telling the church what they what can they tell them and what can they not tell them, the people, because of the government got involved. But I don't know how true that is. I have not done my research on that either. I know PhD was well researched, so she probably know more information, but the time is against us. So I just wanted to cover this clip because Black people, we love the church, but when stuff like this is going on, we got to speak out about it. We got to bring some form of awareness, because that preacher is wrong. I'm sorry, he's wrong. He's wrong.
I definitely want to hear what Diva think about that
Me
old
too.
man, that young
Me
lady.
too. Ladies first. Go ahead, baby.
I'm waiting for her to speak.
I'm gonna let you
I think it's too hard.
I'm gonna let you take my turn.
Well, thank you, Prince Hakeem.
He started to say his check. He's gonna let you take his check.
I want that too. I want that too.
I'll let you take my check.
No.
Oh, baby face.
You know what? Listen,
you know
I'm Haitian.
Home from work face
you know I'm Haitian. I got a speech impediment. You know what I'm saying?
No, sock by say my head. No.
Go ahead.
So the first thing that kind of jumped out at me is a question that I often ask, when I see a woman and a man, like, okay, what do y'all talk about, right? And so this man looks to be, 60 something, and this is a 19-year-old girl, right? And so they're at two very different stages of life and stages of development, right? So he, got more years behind him than in front of him in all likelihood, and she probably has a lot more years in front of her than behind her. And so, at 19 or 21 even, her prefrontal cortex isn't even completely developed, right? So what would they have in common that would bring them together, right? Especially with him being, in my air quotes, a man of God, right? What would this super young girl, not even a woman, have in common with him that would bring the two of them together? Now, on her end, like you said, I guess he's a powerful man, at least in that church or whatever. And, women tend to like powerful men. But from his end, it seems like there would only be one thing really that would, bring them together for him.
Yep.
What do you mean? Grooming?
No sex.
Yeah.
That was saying grooming. Yeah.
Well, yeah. If he was her mentor, then certainly. And so the idea of, again, a man of God leading with that, especially at his age, because, sir, really, I'm pretty sure you got to pop blue pills, to even deal with the girl. And so, I don't know. That was just the first thing that kind of jumped out at me. And the fact that he said, if you do something to my wife, and I'm just like, well, who would want to bother her? Like, she's a child, Yep. And so that's like one of the dysfunctions of the Black church, right? And so everything is blamed on a woman, even though he's the pastor. He is much older than her, but somehow people, want to direct their ire at her if they disagree with it, rather than, going to the deacon board and saying, hey, how do we feel about this? And ultimately trying to get him up out of there if, enough people are against it. Mm-hmm. But, so to try to, take out anything on her just kind of struck me as odd. But it just makes it, I don't understand how anybody's still in the Black church at this point. Just the ridiculousness of how they reason. I don't know. I grew up in it, and even from a very young age, it just never made any sense to me. So
Quick question before we go. PhD, do you agree for older men to date younger women, or do you disagree with that? Do you agree or disagree?
Well, I mean, I think it certainly depends on the age gap. As long as they're both adults, but old enough to really make those decisions, right? So a lot of times when older men want younger women, it has a lot to do with them being able to control those women, right? So he's a lot more seasoned and developed. He got a lot more life experience. He got a lot more money. He's going to be able to control her. And so I think a lot of times that appeals to men, even, outside of the sexual aspect of it, because we know like young women look nice, right? But yeah, I think a lot of times it has something to do with being able to control those women. And
what about procreation?
Okay, so he can procreate with her, but I mean, is he gonna be around to even raise a child? What do you want with a baby at 60 something?
What you mean, PhD? I want my seed, like Hakeem said. I need a whole nation.
Yeah, we need about 5.
I gotta reincarnate myself.
We need about 5. I need about 5.
How many times do you think that man have been married by now? I'm sure he's been a preacher for a minute. So anytime he wanted to sleep with a woman, he had to marry her, right?
Yeah.
But I think he was sleeping with other women. But I think he would probably marry one time.
So he probably got kids already. So, I don't know. That's just weird.
He probably got kids older than her.
Right, exactly.
Well, guys, we're about that time.
Hold up.
Go ahead.
Give Precious Tamika, because she hasn't given.
Oh yeah, she didn't smoke. My apologies.
Yeah.
Precious Tamika, are you there? Are you still there?
Of course, I'm still here.
Oh, you been quiet. I think you were listening in. Precious Tamika, what's your thoughts about this whole thing with the pastor and the young woman? Go ahead.
Well, my great-grandfather, he passed away at 108 years old, and his wife was in her 40s, and he bared a child. He bared a child with her before he passed away. So my thoughts on that is the original version of Color Purple. I'm sorry, y'all. But the original version of Color Purple, where these older men wanted to have these younger wives and leave legacies, along the way, that's where I feel that comes in. Because what really in common did my 108-year-old grandfather have with a 40-year-old wife? He only needed her for one thing at that moment, and he was the pastor of his church.
Wow,
when he passed away, he only needed her to further
procreate.
on his seed, to procreate, basically. And that's my opinion on that.
That's
my
100. How can you hear that? 100 and something years old.
He was 108 years old, Little Rock, Arkansas. His name, well, it doesn't matter what his name is, but he did have, we got streets named after us down in Little Rock, Arkansas. And he had a 40-year-old wife, and he was 108 years old. Yes, he did.
See, PhD, but we can still get it in at 100 and some years old. So you can't tell us nothing.
I ain't saying y'all can't, but if you ain't there to help raise them kids,
but
you know what I'm saying?
Didn't the kid get a check?
You know what?
I don't know about all that. I know my grandfather was well invested. If he had streets named after him, he was well invested, and I'm sure them kids are well taken care of.
Yeah.
But that's not the point. The money, everybody looking at the money, what the kids got left. They don't have a father there to help them navigate through life as a man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be there in spirit.
Saying? They got left with a widowed mother. They got left with a widowed mother who is trying to raise them boys now.
You have the bag in the spirit.
I'm just curious what make them live so long. I always want to know what is the secret. My uncle kind of.
I didn't get to ask him. I didn't get to ask him or the Delaney sisters.
Yeah,
and they lived to be in their hundreds too. The Delaney sisters, they lived in their hundreds too, and they were sisters. And they said that they made it to live that long because they never got married. Neither one of them.
Turn up.
Diva. No, hey, listen, don't promote that.
So don't make me. Don't make me.
Don't promote that, Diva. I don't want to hear that.
Hey, well, I'm just telling you, we could go one way or we could go the other because I brought it up with my grandfather at first and how he lived to be 108. Now I just brought it up to the black sisters who lived to be in their hundreds and they never got married. They never had the headache of a husband and children. So who knows?
Said my auntie lived to be 101. What is this? I'm gonna find.
Drink water and mind your black-owned business.
Hey, I like that.
And that don't even seem to work because why did Dr. Simi get why he died?
Don't know the story.
You think Dr. Sebi died of natural causes?
Yeah. They'll shut our channel down. But I'll tell you what
he
really
was like
happened.
80 something. Wait, but he was 80 something though.
Yeah, he was over 80.
He was only 80 something, but for him to be a holistic person and everything was all natural and all that good
He had a new baby
he
too.
should have lived. He should have lived to be a lot longer.
That's disgusting.
Y'all asked me a question and I answered it. Now, whether you respect my answer or not, that's on you. I was quiet until y'all called me
That's
in.
what Top Shot said.
His auntie ate a lot of
vanilla ice cream
to keep a limit to 101. That's like, how many generations is that?
That's a beautiful age.
Here's the real question for y'all: would y'all want to live to 101?
Nah.
I think so.
You're gonna see the world. You're gonna see the world as the world ain't gonna be the same anymore. It's gonna be way different. I gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would have to get out of here when it's time getting deep.
I gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
That's what they all say.
Yeah, I'm going to see my grandma tomorrow. I'm definitely going to hear about it.
And let's hope she lived to be 100 and something.
Listen, she'll be 85 in September. I'm glad she's still here. We gonna turn up in September for her.
Well, God bless her because then that means. Yep, God bless her.
Yeah, I keep telling her every time we see these stories and we talking on. I say, yeah, Grandma, you know how you used to say, the end times is here. Yeah, they definitely here.
They definitely here.
All this foolishness popping off.
They definitely here.
Hey, shout out to Lord Spike, man. You ain't have to do that, fam. I've been seeing you in the chat whole time.
I told we be over there in Chicago, really. I'm trying to get PhD to go over there and also on Precious Tamika. Y'all make sure you subscribe.
Consistent enough.
This is my first time joining in on the live chat. I usually just comment, but
I appreciate you.
We love you, Precious Tamika. You always welcome.
Yes, we appreciate it very much.
But we know where to find Diva at that solution base area. That's what
we're trying to get him some solutions.
Listen. I be in there in the clouds to listen to hear her wisdom.
To me, it's too crazy because PhD will be out of her element. She really be on 10 on cloud 10. PhD will be going in.
Who be out of their element? Man, Diva thrive in that shit. You tweak it.
I see that.
She be right at home.
I see that.
Boy, her hair be down. She be going in on
Lord telling them goofy niggas to eat a dick, turn a trick, and all that goofy.
Lord have mercy.
Otis, I'm like, man, Otis look innocent.
Oh man, let me go on mute, man. Y'all finna go.
Be looking long, and he be like, "Why?"
Shout out to Sharon, man. Shout out to Sharon.
Shout out
to Mr. Bracy.
Hey, Hakeem, I ain't gonna read what I put in that bag. I know you saw.
I did see that. I did see that.
But now, guys,
listen.
Go ahead.
My final words. I'm always intrigued by intelligent women. I'm just.
You know what, Rilla?
I'm just intrigued. That's all it is. You know what I mean? I'm intrigued.
Now you a sapiosexual, huh?
You know what I mean? I'm intrigued by intelligent women. She's a little bit rough. She rough now. I give it. She's a little bit rough.
Hey,
but I'm
Diva, look, now you saw what I put. You know I ain't lying.
I kid you in love by intelligent woman, but they always want the hood niggas. You know that, right?
That is true, though.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Hey, listen, Roni is right. He's standing on business with that.
Absolutely not. I like men who read as much as I do.
He's standing on business with that.
Hello. I'm with you, Queen. I want to know what you done read lately.
You don't want no nerds. You don't want no nigga who don't read about 80 books.
I don't know who you talking to, cause
you don't want nobody who don't read about 2,900 books.
But anyhow,
No.
Talking about Cat Williams. Let me get out of here, man. I gotta get some work
no,
done, man.
You better get out of
I
here because you
appreciate
about to get
y'all.
beat up
I'll let
now.
y'all later, man.
It's time to go. It's
It
time to
ain't
go.
much love. Y'all be safe out here.
You too,
Have a
Thank you
good
so
Queen.
much,
one.
President
Thank
Tamika.
you.
You're always welcome here. Also, the lovely PhD, but you're always welcome here as well.
Thank you.
We
Always
love you
welcome,
over
baby.
here. You know what I'm
Always.
saying? You Miami
I'm
finest.
shocked you even here today.
I'm shocked too.
You brought me here, Prince Akeem.
Lord have
Man,
It
mercy.
you
don't
gotta go.
matter who brought you here,
Lord
sis.
have
Guess
mercy.
what? You got your point across, and it was
Listen,
well
listen,
respected
listen.
by me.
What video they was
Thank
roasting
you,
me on?
Precious.
What
Huh?
Oh,
video
she
they
got
was
one video
roasting
that was
me on?
roasting him.
I can't remember, but I know it was like a video of you, and then there's a guy who comes in and he start like saying the opposite of everything
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah,
said.
yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, they be
You
they,
went
they be
viral and you
killing
didn't
me on
tell
you.
nobody.
No,
Yeah,
no.
he did. Because
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
seen it a few times. It done came across my
Yeah, yeah. I went
timeline.
viral. Yeah, I went viral coming up just
Viral?
talking.
Are you not telling me and Jordan? You went viral, my dude. You
You
must
not be
have.
you not be talking shit sometimes.
I said, look at Hakeem ass.
Yeah, no, them dudes, no, PhD, them dudes hate Hakeem. I be in the comment, I be sitting there, I say, Hakeem, you gotta be careful. You in Miami, you talking this craziness.
They
He was
won't
like, I
come.
don't care.
Listen, they know I'm a straight shotter. That's nobody hasn't to try me yet. I am a shotter. Play with
He
it.
gonna see you at the, hey, he be at the gas station, he be this, I'm like,
Listen,
Hakeem,
late
you so.
night.
Oh no, but shout out to the lovely Spring God
Y'all gonna
Diva.
be like, I remember Precious Tamika
I
from my
really,
channel, and now
really,
she's talking about that famous baseball player.
yeah, yeah.
Thank y'all for
Little,
having me.
thank you for
We love
coming,
you, you
son.
always welcome. You know what I'm
Little
saying?
Rock,
Jordan gotta get out of
Arkansas.
here. He gotta do
Yeah.
daddy's duties. You know what I'm saying? For President Tamika, you
And
always welcome
mommy
on the panel.
duties.
Mommy doing President Tamika, I think you was cooking in the back. I heard something seasoning.
Yes, I'm cooking
Sizzling.
dinner for my children. Yes, sir.
Are you in
Man,
Arkansas now?
No, I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yes,
Las
sir.
Vegas in the building. So,
Right.
you know,
Yes.
but not only that, but guys, it's also very important. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell on the right-hand side. Remember, we do go live each and every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 o'clock Eastern time. Like I always, special shout out to the Chicago Gorilla, President Tamika that was on the panel, and also the Supreme Goddess PH Diva. Guys, make sure y'all go over there, subscribe to their channel, subscribe over there to Sharon Bracy on Solution Break channel as well, and also subscribe to Ashton Williams because he's doing an after party right after we're done. He's about to go on start over. His link is in the chat to click over and go right over there to Ashton Williams channel. He's about to get ready to go live. But not only that, but shout out to Killer Swag, shout out to Lord Spice Protein, Top Cat was in the building. So the one. I call her the one. I love her. The one was also in the building. Jalen was also in the building. Ashton co-host Mimi, co-host of the Shiesty Avenger, was also in the building. Shout out to It Is What It Is TV was in the building. Shout out to Ken Doll. Shout out to Nightish, who got his channel back. So guys, make sure y'all go over there as well. Subscribe to Nightish channel. Hink in the Basement, who also do great reaction, does great shows. I ain't that. And also his Monday show too when it comes to sports. And like Jordan said, there's a lot of sports going on. So y'all make sure y'all go also subscribe to Hink in the Basement. Killer Swag, you know I gave you a shout out. I ain't forget about you, big dog. I love you, Natasha Vincent. Even though she's not here, we always give her a shout out. Stephanie Watkins, the lovely Stephanie Watkins was here, but she was having a Wi-Fi issue. Sorry, sweetheart, you couldn't come on the panel, but you know we go live Friday. You know you can come by Friday. You know we'll let you up because I know you were trying to come up and come in and enjoy the show. Dog, we have so many people in the chat. I'm trying to catch everybody. So many
Christopher
people.
Christopher J.
Go ahead, Jordan. Give out some names. Also, we have people on Kick and Twitch watching in.
Twitch and Instagram.
We had Victor was also in the building. Jono
Sam
heard him.
Evans. Shout out to Sam Evans and Jonathan. He was in there as well.
Yeah, shout out to you guys. Guys, make sure y'all follow us on Twitch. Make sure y'all follow us on Twitch.
Cynical
and
One. Top
you-
TC Top Cat 67.
Queen Lady.
Queen Lady. Shout out to Queen Lady. I ain't sure in a minute. That was it because mostly my feed, everybody leave. And also President Tamika, she was on the Facebook, but she came on the panel. So it's also like good. And Instagram too is make sure y'all follow Hakeem, follow us also on, I say it again, on Kick and also Twitch. Make sure you follow so you can catch the live stream when we go live. Because I don't know, do Kick and Twitch, do they keep the live stream or do it goes away? I don't know how it works.
So funny enough, you said that Kick keeps it for like 24 hours, then it deletes it.
Really?
Yeah.
So what? Then how do you post? Or you don't post?
You don't post. It's just on there. It doesn't stay on there. It just streams, and it'll show the streams for like 24 hours, and then it deletes itself. Like it doesn't like stay.
Now that, but shout out to Poppy, he came late. But shout out to Poppy, you guys can watch this on the replay. And now that, but happy belated birthday to Poppy. His birthday was the other day.
Happy birthday,
so
Poppy Blanco.
There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people in May. So guys, not only that, but guys, make sure. What's called about to get ready to go live. Ashton, make sure y'all go right over there. He's going live, like always. Guys, make sure you go to KL Culture Radio community tab. In the community tab, this is a KL Culture Radio T-shirt with me and Jordan have on the KL Culture Radio hat. Yeah, and I on behalf of Hakeem's book and Hakeem's book, Black Love, and also the KL Culture Radio coffee mug. Can't forget that. Y'all come over here, support the platform. We really do greatly appreciate it. Shout out to those that also donate to the platform. We really do greatly appreciate it because we actually use it and put it right back into the platform. As you can see, we put it into T-shirts, hats, books, and all this is because of you guys. You guys are supporting the platform. That's why we're able to do that. And not only that, but shout out to those that also donated to the Cash App as well. We really do greatly appreciate it because Hakeem owed us lunch. You owe us lunch. Like always.
Love you, Black Black Kings. Love you, Black Black
Love
Queens.
you too, Queen.
Yes.
Like
y'all
always.
Y'all keep safe. Stay healthy.
You too.
Thank you for tuning in to KL Culture Radio.